Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. I am your host, Cooley. Tonight is open panel debate night where anyone can join, even their mother, and also reaction night. Let's go. And y'all see the suit too, man. Listen, new studio, new podcast, by the spirit, not by the letter. Bro, we can go verse for verse all day long.
Made over.
Doing new things are okay with understanding the reality that we are in competition with one another. But you ladies think that you're special. You are in comfort. Men are men of their word. So here's my word. I'll fly you out here and we can do it in person. And after that, we can box. I'm about my business. So remember I said, when I ask you these questions, I will dismantle your entire argument. That's the end of the debate, my dog.
I'm 39, but I don't look your typical 39.
Belly.
Yeah.
You look 39. It's okay though. That man isn't intimidated by a woman like you. He's annoyed by a woman like you. Because a man doesn't want to date another man. He wants to date a woman. All right, welcome back to No Fugazee Podcast. Again, I am your host, Cooley. Tonight is open panel debate night and reaction night. What I have in store for you guys tonight is the usual. Hopefully we'll get some radical feminists to come up on stream and debate me tonight. Hopefully we'll get some victim mindset black people to come on up and debate me tonight. Hopefully we'll get some some far right white supremacists to come up here and debate me tonight. We'll get everybody with opposing views. You are welcome. Or we get some people that think that women should lead and the woman came first, or maybe even a Hebrew Israelite. Hopefully we'll get them all. But anyways, if you want to join the stream, the first link, that's how you'll do that. So the first link in the YouTube description, if you click that link, you can join the stream. Just make sure your camera is on and your audio is good as well. You can join from your phone or your laptop. So yeah, come on up. How we'll do it is I'll be reacting to some clips, but in between me reacting to clips, I'll bring people on up to debate. So that's going to be the first link in the YouTube description. The second link in the YouTube description is going to be for the membership. So if you like the podcast, you want to become a member, that's the way to support. Sign up, become a member. We got 3 tiers. First tier is gang. Second tier is Hitman. Third tier is Mob Size. You join any of those tiers, you're locked in with us. The next link in the YouTube description is going to be for one-on-one consultations. If you want to speak with me directly, hit me up. Then the next link is going to be for our clips channel, where we post clips on there daily. If you don't have time to watch the full 2-hour to 8-hour stream, go on over to subscribe to the clips channel. We break clips down on there to about 10 to 30 minutes long. Then all the other links are going to be for our social media platforms. We got the X, the Facebook, the TikTok, the Instagram. If you want to hit me up or anyone from my team, you can get in contact with us there. All right, so for open panel debate night, you guys got the information about that. The link is the first link in the YouTube description. The link is also pinned in the YouTube comments. So if you're tuning in right now, and if you're watching on TikTok or Facebook, come on over to YouTube where you can go ahead and join the stream. Let me make sure we're live on. Yeah, we are live on TikTok and Facebook. So that looks good there. All right. So in regards to clips, once again, members, you guys do an amazing job with always sending me mini clips to react to. So we're going to go ahead and react to these clips. I think the last stream that we did, all we did was react to clips. Like no one came to join debate night. Hopefully we get some people that wants to come on up and get their worldview challenged live. It's funny because I posted 2 clips. I was on a stream on Fatty's and Ali's channel. Shouts out to them. They always hosting, their podcast where they invite me on all the time. Sometimes I can make it if I have time. Other times I can't. But just that time, I made time, right? I made some time. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go ahead and make it work. I'll come on up. And I obliterated everybody that debated me on that stream. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the full episode, but even if you just watch the clips, you'll see in the clips, man, it's a bunch of low IQ weak men. And some of them, definitely was people on a panel that had high IQ and that was, smart as well. Some of them we just had different opinions, so that happens as well. Looks like we got some people joining stream already backstage. Once again, tonight is open panel debate night, so just make sure your camera is on and I'll bring you on up. So first we'll get into the first clip, and then right after the first clip, we'll bring up the first person that wants to debate. All right, let's hop into the first clip first. And normally we only spend about maybe 10 minutes for each clip, maybe less for each clip. So everybody that's coming backstage, just hold your horses. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. We got a super chat that just came in. Shouts out to Wick Kid Dreams. He says, shout outs to you, Cooley. Let's have a great night. Please remember that women can turn into good drivers. So if you are a good driver, please watch out for women turning. That's a funny one. That is a funny one. This guy with the dad jokes. Yeah, Xandal, he got the dad jokes. We got a Dane Snyder. He sends him $5. He says, been missing you, friend. Your performance on Fatty's panel was something to be proud of. Saw the whole stream, and you represented like a mudsucker. Yeah, I held it down, of course. Of course I held it down. Easy victories, man. Easy victories. Because the thing is, like, when you're debating, if you're making an argument based off of feelings, listen, man, someone like me that do girl shows and I'm always dealing with people's feelings, it's very easy for me to dissect it and pick you apart and catch you in a contradiction or a logical fallacy where, you're just going to look silly when you're debating me, because I'm not going to go with feelings at all, like at all. It's going to be all logic. But all right. And then also, some of you people your logic is just weak. Like, you can have wrong logic. That's the thing. We can see you utilizing your brain, right? But it's just dumb. You're using it the wrong way. All right, let's get to the first clip, man. So here's the first clip that one of the supporters, well, not the supporters, the members, which they are a supporter, but they're a little bit more locked in than just you usual folks that's tuning in. So get the likes up. Actually, before we hop into this, do me a favor and get the likes up. All right. So let's get into the first clip, see what we got. And everyone that's backstage, I do see some people backstage. Just, hold your horses. Don't go anywhere. I'll bring you up shortly. All right, here we go.
Y'all want to see something demonic? Check this out. Look at that. That reads, abortion is everything. New children's book teaches 5-year-olds that abortion is a superpower. If y'all ever wondered what a...
Hey, yo, it's just so funny with, these radical liberals, the radical left, where it's like they're so unconvincing and they have they suck in the art of influencing, where they're like, you know what? I can't influence you, so I'm going to get your kids. Let's get to kids. Let's get to kids. That's all they do. Like, this is stupid. Like, abortion is everything. They lost in debating me. They lost in debating spreading their worldview. They lost in debating Andrew Wilson and so many other people, right, that have logical right minds. They lost. They lost the abortion debate. So they're like, you know what? We can't win that debate, but we can win the debate with your immature kids, where their brains haven't fully developed so they can source out the flawed worldview within this kid's book. You get what I'm saying? They can source out the demonic spirit within this. So that's all it is, man. It's just that the left, horrible influencers, especially the radical left. right? You get those little, not so radical left. Their influence is pretty decent, right? But you get the radical left where it's hard for them to influence people, like, the woke mindset, like, transgenderism. Now this whole abortion is everything. Well, they can't influence the adults, so they go after the kids. That's the game. That's their method.
Godless society would look like at the very end, right? Right at the cusp of its utter destruction, its complete downfall. You wouldn't even have imagined this. I promise you, if you were around.
And the other thing is, like, it's demonic and it's evil, and they would use the same argument on people that's like, they'll say, oh, you're talking to, and I would say the same thing. This argument will be used, like a man that's grooming a younger, girl, maybe when she's like 15, he's like, 22, which I'm totally against. But the grooming thing, he's like grooming and trying to influence her. And then once she reaches 18, he's like slides right on in. We would say that that's evil. That's demonic. And they're doing the same thing, right? They're doing the same thing. Oh, well, I'm going to get you when you're weak and, you're immature, your brain isn't fully developed. And I'm going to tell you and influence you that, babies isn't anything. Abortions, not having babies is everything. So it's just so stupid. It's a form of grooming.
Around 50, 60,
It's not a form. It is grooming.
70 years ago, and you had to envision how far things would go, you would not have come to this conclusion that your 5-year-old child was going to be force-fed this level of demonic activity. You couldn't have thunk it. I wasn't born 50 years ago. I couldn't have thunk it.
Bruh said you couldn't have thunk it. Listen, man, I'll be pronouncing words wrong, but hey, but he's being obviously funny here. Let's get on to the next clip and let's see who we got backstage. Bring up some people. That was a short one. Let's see who we got back here. All right, so Geoverse, you got to turn on your camera. Camera has to be turned on. Marcus, I see you back here. Yep. So, and then we had another gentleman up. It looks like his camera, he's not backstage anymore, but whoever you were one of the first ones back here, but then you left. Maybe you got scared or nervous. I don't know. But come on back up. I think your name was Brian or something like that. I'm not sure. But we're going to start with Geoverse, and then we got Marcus up next. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. State your name and what do you want to debate about?
Hey, how's it going, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so longtime fan. More often than not, I'm more of a spectator. But a pattern that I've seen, me for example, I'm Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah.
So I am white. Yes, sir.
Real quick, what exactly do you want to debate about?
I'm not an op. I would just be affirming a lot of what you say, but from
just
a Hispanic, but from the Hispanic community.
Hispanic perspective, man, I appreciate the support, brother. And I'm gonna put you backstage because I'm only really trying to have people up here that is an op or just has opposing views. So, but I appreciate the support, man. Have a blessed one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, let's bring up. Let's go with this guy. He came in. And Marcus, Marcus. I'm gonna bring you up, and then this Backy Black guy. You're up after Marcus. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. State your name and what do you want to debate about?
My name is Marcus Burnett. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, 34 years old. And I wanted to debate about going back to the old ways of culture for us, the father choosing the mate for his daughter.
Okay, so you're looking on going back to the old ways of culture where the father is involved in the selection process of his daughter's husband.
Yes.
Okay, I would be in agreement with that. I'm actually practicing that, so that wouldn't be anything that we have opposing views on. But is there anything that you've watched, anything that you've seen of my content where you're like, Cooley, I rock with you usually, but maybe you're wrong on this?
Dang, it's a lot of stuff I agree with. For what you said, I think I seen something. You said something about the Bible. Um, for us, having the right to get a divorce and stuff. You remember that convo? You saying,
Explain that better for me. What do you mean? The Bible and divorce?
yeah. So you saying you have a right to get a divorce? I disagree with that. God
Okay.
never permitted
God never permitted divorce. And do you follow church, old traditional church history where
not
the
not not really. I just believe that a lot of the Old Testament and stuff like that, and men putting they input and changing some things up. Like for what I remember, Moses granted permission for people to get divorced because their hearts was hardened, and God never permitted that. God never gave permission to depart. Once you become one, you cannot become two again.
Okay, so this is why the reason why I asked you, did you study any of old church history, the traditional church history, because it would help you to interpretate some of the scriptures instead of just using your own mind to interpretate certain things, certain scriptures and stuff like that. So let me ask you a question. If you had a daughter and your daughter was being abused, physically abused every day, what would you do? Would you still want your daughter to stay in that marriage, or would you help your daughter to get out of that marriage and escape that abuseful relationship?
Well, it won't even get that far to marriage.
It's a hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
If it's the case that your daughter was being physically abused in every way, every day, every time you see her black eye, every time you see her bruises around her neck, she's complaining, she's going through it.
That's a hard decision to make.
Okay, so
Because
just answer it. Would you want your daughter to stay in that relationship, or would you recommend that she gets a divorce?
stay in relationship and seek out counseling.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, I believe like marriage is a promise to God. It is sacred.
And you want her to seek out counseling?
No, them.
Okay, you would want them to seek out counseling.
Yeah.
Got it. And after they sought out counseling, the abuse continues. What would you recommend your daughter to do?
I would recommend divorce, but at the end of the day.
So stop it there, right? You see how you just contradicted yourself. You said that, well, Cooley, I don't agree with your take on divorce. I think that you are in contradiction of the Bible because God never permitted divorce. And so no human being have the right to permit any divorce. You shouldn't do that. Then I give you a hypothetical that this is something that can happen. This is something that people actually experience, right? This happens, man, where, a crazy situation in a relationship, it could be anything. It could be abuse, the man hitting the woman. It can be the woman cheating on the man. Like she keep getting smashed, right? Then they go to counseling and she like, I don't know. I just have a craving for more penis. And she goes out there and keeps getting smashed. Would you recommend your son to stay with that whore, or would you recommend your son to divorce that whore? You would say, no, son, divorce that whore. No, daughter, divorce that abuser.
Exactly. But that's
so therefore you would be under your worldview, you would be in the same contradiction that I'm under.
Yeah, but can you agree that's still
no
breaking?
Can you agree that it's not a contradiction, that things are more nuanced? It's more nuanced, man. It isn't like, okay, it says this here, but Like, if it's an extreme scenario, should you just never get a divorce? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's still against God's will if you want to be technical.
Well, no, what would be against God's will is the person that's abusing. What would be against God's will is the person that's committing adultery. Those things would be against God's will, which is why God will permit a divorce in extreme situations.
Wait, where he say that at?
You just admitted it based off of
But he ain't never say
based off
that,
the
though.
hypothetical. Look, based off the hypothetical, you just admitted it. God doesn't permit adultery is a sin, right?
Yeah.
Hitting your wife, physically abusing your wife would be a sin.
Yeah.
If this cannot be reconciled, would God want you to stay within sin, or does God want you to remove yourself from sin and being a victim in those situations?
I just don't see where God permits, like, to death do us part. That's what it is. It's a promise to God. If that person was good
Okay, so
enough,
go ahead. Go ahead.
if that person was good enough to marry, and you saw the potential in that partner, and now I just don't believe now all of a sudden he beating your ass and that
Okay, so if that's true, if that is true what you just said, why, when I gave you the hypothetical, you said yes, you would want your daughter to divorce that man? If it's true.
Right, I want her to get out that situation, but
Then are you in logical contradiction?
Divorce. No, I wouldn't agree to the divorce and stay married, but leave him. You
Stay
gotta be with that
married but
person.
leave?
Yeah, you gotta be with that one person. You can't.
So
if
you're going biblically speaking, like, contracts and stuff is not even a thing. It's you're married through the church, through the Spirit of God, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how can you leave that marriage? That really doesn't make any sense. Like, how can you just leave? How can you leave? Make it make sense.
There's a lot of people that back in the day stayed married, lived in the same house.
Yeah, but they stayed married under the contract, under the state they stayed married. But we would say that spiritually and biblically, if they not, acting in a marriage and is really not a marriage, we would say, man, they basically divorced. This is not a marriage. They're not one.
How they not one? They still in the same household.
Okay, so you're saying that people that stay in the same house, but they have no relationship. So they stay in that same household and a woman is still getting beat up.
That's not every case, though. Some people fall in love, fall out of love, and fall back in love.
Yeah, man. So now you just moving a goalpost off of relationships that happen, and some people fall out of love and out of love. I wasn't speaking about that. I was speaking about if it's situations,
worst case scenarios.
Yeah, because that's to test the consistency of your thought process. In order to test the consistency of your thought process, sometimes it's good to make an extreme example to see if what you're saying is accurate. Like you said, well, God never said this. Coolly, what you're saying is wrong. But you're saying the same thing that I'm saying. So are we both wrong? Or is your interpretation or is God wrong based off your interpretation?
I ain't saying God wrong.
So then we wrong. All right, fair enough. Listen, if we both wrong, all right, got it. I'm not wrong, but you just admitted you wrong.
Hold on. So how you feel about Kim Kardashian and all her divorces?
That's a different topic for a different time, but yeah, let me get some more people up, man. Good conversation, man. Well, actually, stay right here. Actually, we got some Moz backstage. I think they want to ask you a question or two. Let's bring them up real quick. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. We got Dane Snyder and Witkid Dreams. Let's give you one question apiece. Let's start with Witkid because I seen you backstage first.
All right. So, just quick question. You know that the Bible does allow divorce, according to God, if there is sexual immorality and abandonment.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's sin right there. That's a contract broken. That's
Okay. So,
a
but you
broken
just said that God doesn't
promise.
allow divorce, and then now you're like, well, yes, I
Unless
agree with that. He
unless
does allow divorce.
unless you commit adultery,
Okay.
that's a sin. You broke the contract, so that person is allowed to get a divorce. Yeah.
But you started off your
So
point with
then
you're not
I'm
allowed to
correct.
have divorce, and you said God doesn't allow divorce. And now that I bring up a point that God allows divorce, you're saying that I'm right. So I'm really confused on where your stance is right now.
Man, I was just trying to find an argument with Fugazi, man.
Is he saying he trolling us?
I agree. I agree with a lot of stuff, y'all. Y'all be on point with a lot of stuff, so it be factual
So
over
so would you
emotion.
would you say that if one person is doing all the work in the marriage and the other person is not, and they're just kind of sucking off that other person, would you say that's valid for a divorce?
No, you gotta stay in that situation. Then you chose
Why?
that person.
What do you mean
That's
you chose that? So
accountability.
so that but isn't that abandonment?
That's you chose that person. You gotta stick with that person.
I didn't
If
ask you that question. I asked you if someone is not applying to the contract of the vows and they're not doing their end, is that abandonment?
what version of doing they end you talking about? They don't feel loved at that moment, or they looking
No, no, no,
outside.
no, none of their duties, none of their marital duties.
Oh yeah, then I agree to the divorce. Yeah.
So that's three things that you've contradicted yourself on. Okay, Dane, on to you.
Don't hold up. I mean, don't give up, Marcus. Don't just fold like that. Don't let wicked dreams drag you around by the no hair of your head, man.
Hey, like I said, I agree with a lot of stuff Fugazi say. It's a lot of
Nah,
fact over
Z,
emotion. So
roll out his hair.
I was trying to find something
It was
so I
just
could be
about a
on the podcast.
it was just about a week or so ago that I was on a panel over on Speakeasy with this similar question, and the question there was, if your wife cheats on you, like even just one time, is it okay to just go ahead and divorce her? And where I came down on that, because this is a complicated issue. I mean, Wicked and Cooley knows this, but I've been married. April will be 35 years. See, so I probably made more mistakes in my marriage than most folks have even tried to do stuff. So, so it is a complex, kind of nuanced subject. But I'm of the old school of thought, see, that I thought you were going to hold up for before you folded like a cheap Bedouin tent in a stiff breeze on me. See, I came here to kind of hold up for you a little bit, but then you went and hid, man. Oh, I guess the tattoos on Wicked over there scared you or something, man. But I mean,
Is this one less scary? Here, I'll go to this
No,
side.
no,
That's
but
no.
the better.
Hey, I'll be watching Will's kid too. He be on point. So
no,
hey.
but my thing is this. My thing is this. Like, if my wife were to cheat on me, and I'm talking about if I found out she cheated one time or something. I mean, how many times is too much? That really gets complicated. But if I found out she cheated on me, she broke her marriage vow. But that don't mean that the vow, the promise I made, that I get to then turn around and go back on my vow. Because my position is, I took a promise for better or worse. When worse comes, what I'm gonna do? But I mean, what Cooley brings up is a good example. Like, well, what about your daughter or whatever? You're just getting beat around, choked down, that kind of stuff. So I mean, that is a valid question, and it complicates it. But then my response, my argument then would be, well, there are other things that woman can do to protect herself and her family, namely her father. Let me find out somebody black in my daughter's eye, right? Okay, I'm a redneck, man. I ain't afraid to go to jail if I have to. But I'm saying, and used to back in the day, that happened. Back when you had a more masculine a culture, and that woman showed up with a big shiner on her eye or a split lip or something, that daddy and them brothers, they could load up and go issue some justice. But they say you can't do that nowadays because we're civilized. But I mean, when you get into that, what are
Yeah.
you gonna do? And what I
So the vows these days don't mean nothing. Do worse.
Well,
For good or worse.
essentially what Dane is saying, which I would agree with, and I see you back there, Backy Black. I see you back there, and Herb. Turn on your camera, but Backy Black, you're up next, and Herb, you're up right after him. But what Dane is essentially saying here is, it's unique consequences. Like, if there's gonna be,
I'll be right back.
if sin is going to take place, like adultery, abuse, things like that, it needs to be consequences. It needs to be shame, because that's the only thing that can change the behavior. And then, but this would be that consequence and that shame, or that, reaction to whatever bad thing happened. This would be the change. Like, and hopefully the husband that was abusing her would change. Hopefully that the woman that committed adultery would see how shameful it is and see that it's not good, and she would change her behavior. But without that, like, basically we can't put any consequences on adultery. The only consequences there is in modernity is like, bro, your wife cheated on you, is to leave her.
That's it. But it's so quick nowadays, Cooley, that like whether it's adultery or some other issue, a spending problem or something, that they can just go down there. It's easier to get divorced nowadays than it is to get out of a credit card contract or a cell phone contract.
Yeah.
So like, what I recommend people do sometimes, used to a generation ago, before you got divorced, you had to be separated for a period of time, like a year, 2 years, 3 years or something. And during that period of time, if y'all came together and had sex, then your separation time started over. You see what I'm saying? I mean, so there's different things. Like I was saying on that panel I was on, I said, she can move across the hallway or whatever. Y'all can be in 2 different bedrooms. Say, like, if she cheated on you or something, you might say, okay, well, we stepping back. There's some loss of some privileges here.
Yeah. Basically, to see if things can be reconciled. But good conversation, gentlemen. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to move on and bring some more people up. But Dane and WitKid, stay tuned as things, maybe get heated. I'll bring you guys back up.
Oh, I'm going to stay.
All right, Marcus. Appreciate you, man. Have a good one. All right. Get the likes up. We got Backy Black. He's up next. And then Herb, you're up right after him. Herb, turn on your camera. Anyone else that wants to join stream tonight is open panel debate night and reaction night. Click the first link in the YouTube description or click the link that's pinned in the YouTube comments and I'll bring you on up. But get the likes up, man. All right. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. State your name and what do you want to debate about?
My name is Backy Black, but my name is Benjamin Sims. I am 36 years old. I mean, as far as me, I do agree with a lot of things you say, but my thing is, do you feel like, as far as what the last guy was talking about, do you feel like on the man's side, not the female side this time, a man that cheats, is it okay for her to bring her family to be involved in something that as we being married, because we're married, her to bring her family involved in the situation of we got a conflict. Maybe I cheated, maybe she cheated, but I cheated. And I did something that was against her. And do you think it's okay for us to bring
the family involved? So currently in modernity, I don't think that that's what's best. I think that if you are going through a situation with your lady, let's at least try not to get the family involved, especially, the mother, aunties, grandmas. They are emotional. You get those women involved. They're just super, super, super emotional. I think that if what I would prescribe is that, well, we have a church to help reconcile the differences in relationships. We have community and things like that to help reconcile the differences. But I think that if something happens, if it can't be reconciled at home, then it's best to go to the church, right? That's what I would say. But we need, in order to have a church like that, you need a community. You're really not going to get a church that's involved in the community like that if the community isn't giving to the church and they're not church oriented.
Right. And so I don't want to go there because it's kind of a side topic. But then when you say church, my beliefs on church is fictitious to what churches actually do. Because what churches do is they creation and they don't just speak on what the Bible speak on. They speak on the Bible. They might be one, two verses, and then they start speaking about their personal life of what they gained out of having the
Yeah, not right.
encouragement up. Hmm?
No, go ahead. You good?
Oh, they
I,
talking about me. I mean, I can understand that because that was another thing I said because I said me being because that was my first thing is me being the man, and I got control of my whole life. I'm not worried about that. What people think and what they see, they are. I think that's like subjugated to what people feel, and they go off their feelings. But
okay. Well,
what I'm
listen,
saying,
Benjamin. I know you were one of the first ones backstage. So, is there something specific that you wanted to debate about tonight?
yeah, but y'all talked about so much that I kind of lost my thought pattern because I wanted to talk about what I wanted to talk about, but I
Okay,
really
yeah. What
lost
what
it.
did you want to think about? Well, what did you want to debate about?
Well, I hear you talk about women, man,
Okay.
households, and all that. And I'm like, okay, if a household is with a man and a woman, yeah, it might be going better. If a household is with a woman or a man, yeah, a man might treat his kids and do his kids a lot better as far as raising them. And then I was like, okay, well, that's mediocre to me. So I'm going to go to what I'm hearing this man say. And that's where my mindset went different because I couldn't go straight to where my point was. So I
Okay.
kind of let
All
that
right.
go.
Okay. You're a little bit all over the place with your speech. It's a little tangential,
Okay.
but fair enough. It's okay, man. It's probably your first time calling up, so I'm giving you grace right now. But essentially, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you saying that all right? So relationship dynamics where it's a man and a woman in a household is optimal, is what's optimal, what's best, but a man raising the children or a woman raising the children is suboptimal. What exactly are you saying here when it comes to that
I'm
parent and
technically saying that because as far as what I lived, because I was raised by a woman, yeah, I came out of it as a masculine man. But a lot of male that I see nowadays is not that. But that would not
okay, I
be
see what you're saying
arguing
now.
with you.
Okay, so then let me see if I can make a statement out of what you're saying where maybe we would have opposing views or maybe we would share the same view. I don't know. But let me see if I can help
Okay.
you out. Then I'm going to get the next person up. But are you saying that, all right, well, coolly, well, I'm a prime example of being raised in a single mother home and I'm doing just fine, right? So therefore, you making the claim that, well, single father homes are better than single mother homes and two parent homes are, better than single mother homes is not always the case. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, this is not really a debate. So the difference of your thought pattern and my thought pattern, I can see the nuance in things. So I'm not making, an objective claim here and saying like all single moms, leads to degeneracy within their children. No, human beings, we have free will. I came from a single mother home too. The difference is that, there's always nuance in it. I had three brothers. My uncles lived in the same projects, the same neighborhood that I lived in. So I was raised a good portion of my life with my grandfather. So I still had, manly, masculine influence, right? With that being said, there's always nuance in it. So the exception doesn't make the rule. Just because you can be an exception, I can be an exception, that doesn't make the general rule. Generally, stats even show that single mother households, they lead to juvenile delinquents. They don't lead to the best outcomes for kids. But there's always exceptions to things where, the child is being raised by a single mother, but there's some nuance there. He's still having some masculine guidance from maybe the community, maybe his uncles, maybe his brothers, or whatever it may be. And he turns out to do just fine. The statement is clear, though. What is objectively true is that a single mother cannot raise a boy into a man, right? That is something that's objectively true. That boy would have to either discover manhood on his own in ways that I would say that that's what I did. Maybe that's what you did, right? You discovered being a man on your own, but your mother didn't help you to do that, right? You probably discovered it on your own by tripping and falling a lot and learning from your own mistakes. But if you had a father there, an example of a man that you can learn from and learn from his mistakes, then you wouldn't have to make those same mistakes. That's the difference between the two and the difference between our thinking and how we analyze and get to the truth. But let me get some more callers up. I do appreciate your time, man, and have a blessed one.
Oh, my God.
All right. Let's see. Let's get right to the next caller. Then I was going to react to something, but let's get right. We got people up here. Let's see. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. State your name and what do you want to debate about?
Hey, David. Love your show, man. Love the Red Pill movement. It's awesome. It's awesome. But my name is Sammy, and I just wanted basically your thoughts on, I would say, American women compared to foreign women, as I've kind of like decided to join the passport bro movement. And I would say trying to meet women like, let's say Venezuela, Colombia, right? And I have some of my apps geared towards those areas, and I'm chatting with a lot of them now. But what I've noticed is their behavior is very similar to American women, and the fact that they basically are asking for money. Before you even have a relationship with them, or you're dating them, or even married to them, they're already asking for money. And you kind of see that. I kind of see that with the American women. I see that all the time. It's kind of expected. But I think what's throwing me off is that I'm seeing that with now, let's say a woman from Venezuela. But I guess the thought process is they're in probably more dire need of the financial support than like an American woman who has like a lot more opportunity.
The need doesn't matter. It's just the simple fact that these foreign women have picked up on a game. They picked up that about the passport bros, that a lot of people is going there really just to hook up with women. The bulk of them are. And then, there's maybe a few of them that's actually going out there to, settle down and marry one of these foreign women. But, these women pick up on a game. Women are hypergamous within their nature. So they're always looking at things as a value loaded exchange rather than a equal value exchange. Like when men get into a relationship, we kind of look at things like, all right, I'll do this. And, what do I get out of it? And men, we pretty much look for the intangibles. Women look for the tangibles and the intangibles. So they're always looking to get a value loaded exchange. They want your love. They want your passion. They want your heart. They also want your money, the house, and the car, right? They want the intangibles and the tangibles, which is it's a value loaded exchange. They're always looking for more. So that's what's in their nature. So the whole passport bro movement, they thought that they was like, gonna travel across seas and get a foreign woman, but this foreign woman is not going to have the same nature as these American women. No, they have the same nature. And not only that, these foreign women, they are still able to be influenced by feminism, by culture and things like that, right? Because they still have access to TikTok. A lot of them do. They have access to these, dating sites and stuff. So they're still being influenced by American culture too, which is why they still take on the same behaviors and actions as the American women.
Yeah, I noticed that feminism, internet, and social media has completely changed the game than, let's say in 1925, right? So I do understand that. I guess I don't know if I should hold the same policy, because here in the States, if I'm talking to a woman, she asks for money, I'll say, I'm sorry. Either I'm spending money if we're dating, in a relationship, having sex. I'm not spending no money before that. Like they'll ask right off the cuff. Yeah, a couple sentences, a couple texts, and they're asking, "Hey, can you send some money for my nails, or can you send some money for Uber?" That's, like I said, expected in the U.S. But I don't know. Should I have the same mindset as if I was talking to some Colombian women that's like saying, "Hey, I need a little help. Can you send
The
some money
funny
my way?"
thing is, the funny thing is what I've learned is the mindset that you have is that's going to be the mindset that you attract. So the mindset that you have is going to be the mindset usually from experience, from what I've learned and from, sitting down and talking to many men, is going to be the mindset that you attract. Same thing with females. It's kind of like rooted that way. We tend to project. So if you have a mindset and you don't really have, genuine intentions with the woman, your intentions is, pretty much to, get sex from her and maybe get a few good experiences from her, and that's about it. Your mindset is not really looking to settle down, not really looking to be with only her. You're looking to still play the field. You're going to attract women that's just like that too. That's just what it is. It's like how God almost designed it like that, almost for just the outcomes to be like that. And not in all cases, but in many cases. So you have to operate with, I would say, one, I don't, give advice to men to go out there and court women to just get sex from them. I think that, women are just more than just sleeping around. But even though that's not your method, right? I'm speaking right now. Okay, even if that's not that's good. If that's not your method, if you're looking for more, looking for something long-term, looking to settle down, then, like I said, you're still going to get the same behaviors from those foreign women. The American woman is the foreign women are going to mirror the same behaviors of the American women right now with social media and the indoctrination of feminism and stuff like that. So it's going to take a little bit more work is what I'm saying. A little bit more work, meaning that you got men pitch themselves, women advertise themselves, man. You got to pitch yourself a little bit more. Let me ask, how old are you?
I'm 48.
48. Okay. Fair enough. Listen, man, like women have the mindset, well, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, the grass ain't always greener if you go to one of these other countries. So you'll actually probably find luck sourcing women and not off of dating apps. Like, think about the type of women that's on dating apps anyway. It's probably, they're just looking for something quick, maybe some finances, some money. They're looking to get their problems fixed. Maybe you want to court women in different areas. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I've been kind of realizing that you attract what you surround your environment in.
Yeah, you kind of experience that too, so you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, if I'm doing dating sites and we all are dating apps, and we all know that dating apps are not the best to find a long-term relationship, then obviously I'm going to attract the opposite of what I'm looking for. I need to be more engaging in the social setting, like, at church or at a, charity event or something wholesome than just going on a dating app or even to the club,
Someone said he's right. They looking for passports. Yeah, man. They looking to use you as a passport, my friend. But listen, man. Good conversation tonight. Is debate night. I was just honoring the conversation since I don't have many people that come up and ask questions about the whole passport thing. But
I just thought maybe you'd have a different view. That's all. But
yeah, usually logical men tend to have a similar view. I don't think I said anything that you haven't heard before, right?
No. I was wondering if you've seen the trend that way also. But this makes logical sense. I just wanted your thoughts on it. I just know that feminism, internet, and social media has just changed the game worldwide because it's the World Wide Web.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So listen, man, everyone is experiencing the indoctrination and the effects of feminism, TikTok, and Instagram, man. We're all experiencing it. But all right, man. Have a blessed one. Appreciate the support, man.
Good question. David. Keep up the good work, brother.
Appreciate you, man. All right. Let's go back to, all right. So anyone that wants to join stream for open panel debate night, click the first link in the YouTube description or click the link that's pinned in the YouTube comments. We're currently live on Facebook and TikTok right now. I'll stay live on Facebook and TikTok for a little bit, but if you want to come up and join stream and debate me tonight, Don't hesitate, man. I'll bring you on up. Let me honor some of the super chats real quick, and then I'll go ahead and get into the next clip that we'll be reacting to. Let's see. We got Zandal. She sends in $2. She says, "Why did you not tell us to watch live?" Who you talking to? Oh, you maybe talking about when I went on the debate. Yeah, because it was last minute, Zandal. So when I was invited to go on that debate on Fatty's channel, it was a little last minute, so I didn't put anything up, and I didn't stream it from my channel as well either, since it was last minute. And I was only planning on staying there for an hour. I didn't end up staying for like 2.5 hours. So, but yeah, next time I may be going on Fatty's channel this Friday and debating some people on Black Fatigue. It all depends because, it's holiday. It's Black Friday. So I got a big family, man. I got a lot of things planned. So if I get some time, I'll most likely will hop on there, but I'm not going to stream it from my channel. Since I'll be hopping in late, I'll most likely just stream it from their channel. But yeah, I'll keep you guys up to date. I'll put something on Instagram to let you guys know. I gotcha. All right, we got Brian Ross sends in $5. Shout outs to you, Cooley. You cooked homie in that debate. Yeah, man, it was easy work, bro. Easy work. Dudes be illogical. We got Dane Snyder sends in 5. He says, "What I respect most is you stand on principle. No matter who is no matter who is associates you with. Okay, no matter who associates with you or separates you from." Okay. All right, okay. Maybe I read that wrong or I read it right. No matter who is associates you with or separates you from. All right, I think I know what you're saying. Got it. Yeah, I mean, I tend to stand on principle. Think about it. The podcast is called No Fugazi, right? It's about, be you. Be who you are. Don't be authentic to who you are. Don't be fake, right? So that's what you're going to get. And I named it that for a reason because I've always been me. And any of my friends back in the day, they know that Cooley has always been this way. I've never changed. I've changed in other areas, but this has always been me, right? I remember my friends used to do certain things. Actually, I just had my homie over here. We were watching the fight. I can't even remember the name. Benavidez was fighting. Forgot the name of the guy, but Benavidez won that fight. But we were over here watching the fight, and my homie was like, "Yo, man, you really haven't changed, bro. I remember we used to play certain games to trick you into cursing, but you still would never curse." And it was like, "No, one time we got you to cuss," and I'm like, yeah, I think I slipped up, once or something so I kind of always been, just as, and nothing really against cussing. It's kind of like a me thing. I don't care if you do it. It isn't like if you cuss, you're spiritually evil or anything like that. It's kind of just like a me thing. But anyways, I digress. Let's get on to the next clip. Let's go to, I think we got another super chat that just came in. We do. Zandal says, you could do a community post. We appreciate it. Yeah, I'll do a community post on YouTube. I think that'll work better too. We got Dane Snyder says, you need a Mr. E like Andrew has to stream stuff while you're other places. Yeah, I do need to get someone like a Mr. E. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that'll probably work out better. We got 91 sends in 5. He says, recently watched your debate against Queen Don Quisha. What a trip. Yeah, Don Quisha, that debate is one of my most viewed debates. It's hilarious that you get But the funny thing is, her perspective isn't new. There's always been a perspective where people think that the black woman is God and the black woman came first, and this black power type of ideology. That type of thinking has been around for a long time, and it was just always stupid to me. It was always nonsensical to think that the woman was created first and that the woman is superior and stuff like that. That's just dumb. It's very easy to refute by just scientific facts and using biology, statistics, and facts. So it wasn't hard at all. All right, let's get to this next clip. Next clip. All right, actually, before we get to the next clip, we got someone backstage. Let's bring him up first, since we are trying to engage in these debates. But Dane Snyder says, since $2, no Canadian, though, an American Mr. E. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I'll see what I can get. All right, welcome to No Fugazee podcast. State your name and what do you want to debate about?
Hey, I'm Tony. I actually don't want to debate. I know you're trying to debate, but I actually want to ask you for advice.
Tony, since it is debate night, I would hear what you want advice about, but I would probably direct you to speak with me privately. But go ahead and you can ask what you need advice about. Yeah,
so I recently separated with my wife. She wanted long story short, she had an opportunity. I live in Florida. She had an opportunity to go to New Jersey. I got things going on. It's not, I can't go to New Jersey. So I told her, hey, we're not going to New Jersey. And she continued to go to the interview. And when she went, I told her, hey, when you come back, you're going to have to pack your things and leave. And, I don't know. I don't know if I did the right thing. I don't know. I think she just doesn't respect me. I don't know, man. And I'm hurt. I'm not going to lie. I love her, but I just felt like she doesn't respect me, and
to the simple fact that, this is more like a private conversation. So it's basically you're saying that, told her to stay. She wanted to, move and look for another job in another state. You told her not to go to the interview. She still went to the interview. You don't know if she even got the job yet and things like that. So, yeah, I would.
It's for school. And then she told me like, hey, you know what? We'll be in a long distance relationship for 2 years. And I'm like, absolutely not. That's unacceptable. It's not the time. You got to wait because she was trying to get into a
Are you married to her?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you married to her? Yeah. So this type of conversation should be private. So hit me up. Click the first. It's actually the third link in the YouTube description. Click that link and book a one-on-one consultation, and I'll be glad to speak with you, man. No worries.
Thanks, Willie. I appreciate you, man. I follow you a lot, and you and Myron. I honestly, because you guys is why I separated. I think I'm doing the right thing, but I don't know, man. Like now I'm having doubts, but I'll
I don't necessarily know if that's the right thing. I would need more information, so go ahead and click that link, and I'll be more than happy to speak with you privately to gather more information from you, so I can give you my truest thoughts. Okay?
Thanks, Willie.
All right, man. Have a blessed one.
God bless you.
All right, we got Yo Boy Lame sends in $5. He says, shout outs to Cooley for foreseeing his debater's demise. I'm curious, did you debate them or give them an evil eye? So, if you're referring to like Fatty and all of that, when I was on Fatty's channel debating them, Fatty and Ali's channel, yeah, man, bro, it wasn't really like a debate, honestly. Like people go on monologues for so long. So like even if you watch the stream, I'm barely speaking. What I clipped is basically the only times that I spoke. And then other times where I was speaking, I wanted to clip the one debate that I had with some male feminist, but my audio kept going out. Like every time someone would speak, my audio would go out and it was just horrible. So my team didn't clip that one up because you basically really couldn't even hear my argument. But yeah, so, they run a good channel there, but the clips that I made was the clips of the debates where that was basically the only time that I spoke. Really didn't speak a whole lot on there. All right, let's get to some of these reactions, man, and let's see if we can get some people up by triggering some people with my worldview. We got Robbie. Robbie sends in $5. Hey, cool. Hey, cool. I'd like you to clarify if men can't get sick, what do you classify organ failure or cancer in a man? I see it as being sick. People are so funny. You know there's got to be a supporter because he's asking a question where he knows when I'm saying certain things, it's a joke, right? When I say that real men don't get sick, only women and children get sick, is just supposed to be funny, man. It's supposed to be like a masculine joke. You get it? You ever like making jokes with your homeboys, but you make a joke about masculinity? Like even if your homie is eating something, you like, hell, you feel satisfied. You know, only women and children feel satisfied. Men don't feel satisfied. Like say if your homie is eating something, he's like, that was good. And you'd be like, you joke with him like, oh, this nigga satisfied. It's called a masculine joke, man. It's like, bro, that's what that means. Anyways, all right, let's get to some of these clips that we're going to react to today. Get the likes up, everybody. Don't be a ninja watcher. We got some good clips that the mod sent, so we're going to get right into it. All right, here is the next clip that we got. Let's see.
Children are not a blessing from God. They are the direct result of fucking. Unless you were battling with fertility, there's no way you can convince me that your child came from God. You got fucked while you were ovulating, and that is why you got pregnant. We have to stop saying that God is sending these.
Okay, so children do not come from God. It comes from having sex. You have to stop saying children come from God and start saying that children comes from sex. So far, that's all she said.
Kids, because quite frankly, Mary didn't even get pregnant from fucking. Okay, then on top.
Okay, so now she just contradicted herself. This is how fast it happens with these low IQ people, bro. Children do not come from God, right? Children do not come from God. Children come from sex. Then she says, like, Mary didn't even come from sex. Mary came from, Mary had a baby from God, right? So do children then come from God? Did Jesus come from God? Like, you see the contradiction there already within her words? This is what happens when there's too much meat around your forehead. You got cold cuts sinking out your pores. You got two necks down there. You see those necks down there? The fingers is fat hands, fat face, fat neck, and fingers. There's a high probability that your thought patterns are going to be nonsensical. You're going to say something dumb and contradict yourself.
On top of that, why the hell would God send you a kid and you don't have a job? You don't have any money. You don't have a support system. You don't have a place to stay. You don't have a car. But God would send you a fucking child?
So look what she just said. Why would God send you a child if you don't have a car, you're broke, you don't have anything going in your life? Well, this is why God, like you said, this is why Mary got pregnant by God and God sent his son, right? And if you go to biblical scriptures, Psalms verse 10 would tell you that though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. So I'm only going bringing up Bible because she brought up Bible, right? I wouldn't have brought up Bible. I would have had this conversation differently. But yeah, man, she's just all over the place. She doesn't know what she's speaking about. And this is the type of anti-natalist thinking, right, to why women would abort their children. Oh, this wasn't the right man for me. They don't want to take any accountability. Oh, well, I had sex with this guy. I went ahead and got pregnant. Oh, I'm going to just abort my child because I don't like him that much. He's not the right guy for me. Oh, well, life is going horrible for me. I just lost my job and I don't know what to do. So I'm going to go ahead and abort my child. Right? Because these type of individuals, when life's and things don't go their way and they're suffering, they think that, well, the only way that they try to find meaning out of life when suffering is happening is viewing things from an earthly material aspect, right? From an earthly material perspective. Like, okay, life is going bad. In order to make life good, I need to find things on earth to make life good. Well, that's not how us Christians think. When life is going bad and suffering on this world is so bad, my mother, my father forsaken me, I don't find meaning from the things on earth. I find meaning from the things that's above earth, meaning in things like God. God is there. God will be with you. So that's how you find meaning. This is why these people, they would self-delete. This is why these people would abort their children. This is why these people commit all of these heinous, sinful acts, because they're always trying to just find meaning here on earth. Listen, bro, life is tough. Life is hard, right? You're not always going to find meaning here on earth. You got to find meaning with God. I sound like a pastor here today, but I'm not. I'm just letting you know how I tend to think. And not only how I tend to think, but this is what the scriptures say, which I just read. All right, cool. Let's get into the next clip. I think that's all this meat fat head person said that was dumb. Next clip. And people probably in the chat like, man, Cooley, how you be gonna speak this biblical stuff and then you call in this fat chick names? Hey, listen, man. Listen, man, sometimes you just gotta call it how you see it, man. You just gotta call it for what it is. All right, next clip. Get the likes up, chat. I'm giving y'all good entertainment tonight. Okay, what's this? All right. Okay, yeah. Let's see. You know what? I didn't really review this story too much. So let's see what this is about. It says DoorDash delivery girl has been arrested on 2 felony charges. So this is the DoorDash delivery girl. I'm really not too familiar with this. I haven't really did any research, but I'm sure he'll explain it in a clip. So let's get into it.
You know, I really love the fresh smell of justice in the morning. Especially for this breezy right here. This is a wonderful way to cap off the ending of the year. I know we only in November, but bro, I am ecstatic. So for those of you that don't know, this is the DoorDash girl that said she was SA'd because she did a delivery at a guy's house. His door was cracked. She went up to the door. The instructions said to leave the food at the door. She went up to the door, saw him laying passed out on his couch. She recorded him and left. Took that video, better yet, posted it online, released all his information, and then reported it the following day. And then came online and said she was SA'd. She was taken advantage of because she did not want to see that. And there was this whole civil war.
That's crazy, though. That's crazy. So once again, I didn't do too much research on this, but in chat, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. We're live right now, but if the things that he's saying is true, that is wild. If the woman was delivering DoorDash and then the dude was basically, it's his crib. He opened up the door or however it was, and she seen him naked, and then she took a picture and tried to play victim, or took a video and then tried to play victim. This is crazy. Let's continue on.
People going back and forth on who's the victim, who's not. And the law, logic, fact would have told you that she was in the wrong. But of course, you had something that couldn't separate emotion from logic. And now here we are. She has been arrested. Boy, I couldn't be more happy. I really couldn't have. Her court date's in a few weeks. She was charged with 2 felony counts. And I couldn't be more fucking happy. She fucking deserves it because that is the dumbest.
Yeah, man. And this is the thing. Like, this is this is like Emmett Till situation, white, innocent looking girl claims that, she accuses man of, sexual misconduct or, something. And then the media takes that and society, basically claims that she's the victim and the other person is the perpetrator. It's just dumb. But I would give her one of these. Cracker ass cracker. Hey man, that's all that is right there. Now he not making it a race thing or anything like that, but man, this type of behavior we don't see a lot in other communities other than those Karens. You know, them Karens like to come out and just always claim victim about something. But everybody's claiming victim about many things too. But dang them Karens. All right, let's get to the next clip. That really wasn't nothing to react on. She was just reporting on something. So she got arrested on 2 felony charges. Okay, fair enough. All right, next clip here.
Though we gotta start teaching our kids though just financial wealth and literacy and all that shit early, because by the time they get to 9th grade they should be just learning how to start businesses and how to but they don't really need to know how to read. Wait, stop. I ain't gonna say that. I say that respectfully. I'm not saying that in a way to be literate, because you're not supposed to be illiterate, but you can.
What's more important, reading or math?
Math.
Told you.
Math. I think you could listen to a book on YouTube. You can still obtain the information. You don't have to know how to read.
So I'll say this. Shouts out to Joel Santana, because I did speak with him via Instagram, see if he was interested in being on the podcast. And he actually said, yeah, he's down to be on the show on one of the girl shows. So shouts out to him. But we got to keep it no Fugazi, man. And if he does come on the show, I'll actually say exactly what I'm saying, what I'm going to say right here. If it's the case by using the logic that Joel Santana is using, by essentially saying, well, kids don't actually need to learn how to read. They can basically, use the internet and learn and, listen to audio things. I guess that's what he's saying. Listen to audiobooks and stuff like that. Kids really only need to learn how to do math. Well, that same logic will follow. Well, we have calculators, we have the internet where kids don't actually need to know how to solve math problems themselves. They can just use a calculator to solve these math problems, to help solve these math problems that they're dealing with. So this would mean that kids don't need to know how to read, and that they also don't need to know how to do math by using your own logic, right? But it's funny because some people would say certain things, and I see one part by what he's saying, like, well, reading isn't that important now because we have AI and Chat GPT and technology. We would have to say then math isn't that important either. But the thing is, the reason why it's dumb to say all of this is because, well, what if the internet just goes down? What if the electric grids, what if a big, what is it called? Them EMT things? I think that's what it's called, where they like shut down they can shut down the electrical grid and things like that. What if just mayhem happens? You don't have access to Chat GPT or the internet, but you can't read anything? You don't have an audio book to listen to things? Well, no, this is why you need to always know the fundamentals to things. You need it. You just can't go off of technology all the time. That's just dumb to say. Then we're reliant on these technologies. We're reliant on the grid to stay powered up. If the grid goes down, then what?
That's not reading and understanding. I believe common sense is better than everything. I'm a common sense nigga.
Well, my nigga, I do like you. I hope you come on the show. But I love your music, by the way. Back in the day, I used to listen to it, and you was spitting them bars. I don't really even listen to music like that anymore. But we would have to say, with this statement that you just made, you wasn't using common sense, right?
I'd rather have zero book smarts and common sense, be able to read the room, be able to read life, be able to read people. I try to understand people, you know what I'm saying? Like, nowadays you can listen to a book. I just listen to the 48 Laws of Power. Not to
You gotta
could
read
listen.
your contract.
Okay.
You don't have to
You can
understand
listen
it
to
though.
that
What if
too.
you-
They got
The dude said, man, you got to read your contract, man. Nigga said, nah, you ain't got to read that either. You can listen to it. So he's just relying on technology for everything. And that's a silly thing to fully rely on. You have to learn the fundamentals of things. But yeah, let's continue on.
they got apps you could put it in and it'll read it to you. Are you crazy? Huh? It probably will. AI will now. That's what I'm saying. That's how freaky
You don't have
it
to
is.
read shit that's being told to you.
It'll be so.
Just
I'm
no
not saying
math.
that in a bad way. Like you don't need to know how to read.
manual.
G shit though, we gotta start teaching our kids.
Yeah, man, is wrong. You have to learn the fundamentals to all of these things. You gotta keep that, man. All right, let's. We got some people joining backstage, I think. No, still wait, kid. I see you backstage just chilling. Let's get to the next clip. Got you guys, chat. I got y'all. Once again, anyone tuning in, click the first link in the YouTube description, and I will bring you on up for open panel debate night. Click the first link in the YouTube description. Someone in the people in the chat saying, man, Jewels was high as a kite. And he probably was. That's why he's saying it. That sounds like some weed type conversation. This is why I do not recommend smoking weed at all. I've never smoked a day in my life, haven't even tried it.
The greatest debate of all time: can men be just friends with women? The answer is no. Women.
False. Men can easily be friends with women, and there are 3 science-backed keys to it. I'm Max Butterfield, Dr. Max Butterfield. I study this kind of thing for a living, and I can tell you what they are. Number 1, remember, feelings of attraction are fleeting. Just because you have them, it doesn't mean you need to act on them. It's like if a bird lands on your head. That's not your fault, but it is your fault if you let it make a nest in your hair. Shout out to Martin Luther. Number 2, oh man, that is a throwback. Number 2, make sure to keep clear boundaries. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Number 2, make sure to keep clear boundaries. Things like physical touch, you might want to avoid those things. Things like spending time alone together late at night.
Well, listen, Doc. Funny thing is, I reached out to him to do a one-on-one debate. Haven't heard back from him yet, but I hope he reaches back to me. But it's funny that you said that, Doc. You said set boundaries, meaning that certain boundaries need to be set. Well, if men and women can truly be platonic friends, you wouldn't have to set any boundaries. So this would debunk everything that he just said. There's a reason for certain specific boundaries that should be set if you're friends with this woman, because you have ulterior motives, right? You know that if you are near her in a certain environment, you're going to be more likely to engage in maybe physical touch or engage with flirting with her and things like that. So therefore, then it's not truly platonic if someone has ulterior motives. No matter how hard you try to suppress your motives, it isn't platonic because someone has ulterior motives.
Night in romantic places. Again, you might want to avoid those things in the same way that I want to avoid those things with a guy friend. Not because
you are wrong, Doc. Because the same way I would want to avoid those things with a guy friend. No, the reason would be different. Why you wouldn't want to avoid those things. It's not like you would be working to avoid those things with your guy friend. Those things just wouldn't happen if you're a straight man. You wouldn't be in an intimate situation with your guy friend if you're a straight man, right? You wouldn't be in intimate touch in an intimate physical situation with your guy friend if you're a straight man. So he's just making things up right now.
Because I'd fall in love with him, but because that's a weird thing to do. Number 3, focus on your shared goals and not your feelings. So if your goal is to have fun together, make sure to do that. Don't be flirty, don't be ambiguous, just do your thing. If your focus is on mutual support, again, just do your thing. You don't have to be flirty.
So the doc's prescription is, well, men and women can be friends if the person that is attracted to the other person can suppress their wants and their feelings and their emotions and their desires. Then, if they can suppress it down to 0, then, and also by setting all of these boundaries, because that's the only way it's going to fully be suppressed, then they can be friends. Come on, Doc, just admit it that generally speaking, men and women cannot be platonic friends if one of the individuals are attracted to the other. If they have ulterior motives and they're attracted to the other person, then the friendship isn't platonic, because a platonic friendship means that you don't have ulterior motives. Like if I have a friendship with one of my homies, I'm not looking to go behind his back to do anything. I'm not looking to manipulate him to get my desires met, right? I'm not looking to do anything, that meaning that our intentions are aligned, which makes it platonic, which makes it a true friendship. But generally speaking, generally speaking, men and women cannot be platonic friends. Now, there are some situations where a man and a woman can be platonic friends. I actually have two friends that are friends. Well, I have one friend and he's friends with this girl. And the only way it works, because I witnessed it with my own eyes, is that he does, and I witnessed it with other people as well. I don't have any girlfriends, like girls that's my friends or anything. I don't do anything like that. But with my one homie, the girl is basically like the homie. She's basically like one of us to him. He doesn't conform to her friendship category, like being one of the girls. She conforms to his friendship category, and she's like one of the guys. Meaning that if they're doing anything, he's not paying anything. It's an equal value exchange. She pays for his own, he pays for his own. She's not looking for any extra male protection or male guidance or anything from him. He's not looking for anything. Like, you get what I'm saying? So he basically treats her like one of the homies. When friendships truly go wrong is when you simps try to be friends with these women, but you really have ulterior motives because you're attracted to her and you're only her friend because you want to smash. And the only reason why you're hanging out with her, and when you start hanging out with her, you're like, you find yourself buying her drinks. You find yourself paying for the bulk of the bills when y'all go out and stuff instead of splitting it. You're doing all of this extra stuff because you want to smash. So she's basically garnering your time, your attention, and your resources, and you still ain't get no box. You in a friend zone, bro. You in the worst position that a man could be in, right? Well, one of the worst positions that a man can be in. So, yeah, Doc, I think that you are totally incorrect. All right, let's get to the next clip. And actually, we do have some super chats in here, so let me honor some of these chats real quick. All right, let's see. We got Mike Young. He sends in $2. He says, how do you keep yourself in shape? Daily diet. Okay. Well, I only eat about 2 to 3 meals a day. So that's one thing. I don't eat a lot. I could actually get to like 220 if I wanted to. I just have to eat more. I work out at least 5 to 6 days a week. And I don't work out where I'm just like, doing regular stuff and getting, just going through the routine. No, I'm actually training. I'm actually working out hard. And diet, man, I eat the same thing every day. Breakfast is bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. I just ate before the stream. That's why I was a little bit late. I had Five Guys. Everybody knows in this chat that I'm always eating Five Guys. So I work out every day, man. I drink a lot of water. And I drink no soda. I eat 0 snacks. I don't eat any snacks. You will not see me eating candy or any type of snacks. I may have some Chips Ahoy cookies once in a blue moon, right? I may have that, but I eat 0 snacks. And the thing is, I actually have a desire to eat a lot of snacks, but I find if it's something that I like doing, I want to challenge myself to not doing it. So that's just me, right? That's just me being disciplined. So if I find myself like conforming or some type of vice is controlling my mind, I'm like, this is gay. Only women are controlled. Like, what? Women and children are controlled mentally. This cookie is not going to control me mentally, right? So therefore, I don't eat the cookie, even though I desire it a lot. So The main thing is going to be discipline. You have to have some mental strength when it comes to your diet. And this is not anything that all right, I eat this. Like I have it all like scheduled out and mapped out. Like I'm only going to eat a little bit of this or I'm only going to eat a little bit of that. No, man, I just go through the paces of life and I know that I make a clear decision, like how I cut my hair. Like, all right, woke up one day, like it's cutting hair time, cut my hair. It came to the conclusion like, I think I like snacks too much. This is gay. Why would a man like snacks this much? Okay, I'm just not going to eat no more snacks. And I stopped eating snacks. It's not like I don't have the desire for it. Masculine men, we act despite how we feel. I feel like just staying home and just chilling, but I went to the gym. I feel like eating those cookies or picking up that devil dog, but I act despite how I feel and I eat some watermelon instead, right? That's what's it about, bro. So a lot of you people, if you're new here, if you want some coaching, man, click the first link in the YouTube description, man. I live what I preach. Like the things I speak about, I actually live it. Okay, so what's the next super chat we got? We got Unk Best Streaming sends in $2. You cooked on Fatty's show the other day. Yeah, man, it was a cooking session. Let me give myself a no Fugazi.
No Fugazi.
It was a cooking session. Yes, it was. We got, Dane Snyder says, monologues were because many were feminine minded. This is true. A lot of them were feminine minded. Not all, but there were many feminine men up there. That's why they go on those monologues. And like a monologue with no clear direction. It's like, all right, man, I get through this. But that's, when you're a debater and you go on these streams, you just have to stay poised. You have to be patient. And, it's someone else's show. So you got to respect someone else's show. And when I go on other people's shows, I respect the show. It's their platform, right? So no hate on it. It's just what it is. It's things you got to deal with. All right, let me go ahead and get to this next clip. See what we got here. Okay, nope, I just played that. It is this one. All right. Let's play this.
You say the suspects didn't plan to go it alone. In fact, the feds say they plan to recruit people who are homeless in Washington, D.C. to serve on their, quote, expeditionary force and take over a small Haitian island. The grand jury indictment handed up today charges 21-year-old Gavin Weisenberg from Allen and 20-year-old Tanner Thomas from Argyle with conspiracy to murder, maim, or kidnap in a foreign country, as well as a charge of production of child pornography. Record show Weisenberg was booked into the Collin County Jail in July. Prosecutors say he was in the U.S. Air Force at the time. The place they are accused of plotting to invade is called Gonave Island. It is part of the Republic of Haiti. It's not small. In fact, that island has about 87,000 residents. Prosecutors say Weisenberg and Thomas plan to lead that expeditionary force by sailboat to the island, murder the men, take control of the island, and then turn the women into sex slaves.
Hey, man, listen. I don't know if this is true because people just send me stuff. I didn't verify it and do any journalist type of research to see if this stuff is true, especially with AI nowadays. But it basically, 2 Texas men indicted for plotting to invade Haiti, which is crazy. Like they want to invade Haiti, kill off every man and enslave the women and children and force them into sex labor. That's OD wild. 2 men doing this. I don't know how true this is, but if it is true, that's pretty crazy that people in 2025 would still have the mindset of wanting to colonize this area. Yeah, those Haitians, feeble minds, they don't know anything. We'll go over there and we'll set them straight. This will be our land. But once again, I don't know how true this is, but this is pretty crazy. Let me go ahead and stop sharing this for a quick second, and we got someone backstage. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. State your name and what do you want to debate about?
Got me on here?
Yeah, state your name and what do you want to debate about?
I'm Steven, and I want to debate objective morality. Because you said
Okay.
I've heard you say you subscribe to God's objective morality.
Yeah, I subscribe to Christian ethics, divine command theory. Um, so
Oh man, you already got me. So
yeah.
can I ask you, is it so like how are you able to tell me objectively what the worst thing you can do right now is and the best thing you can do right now is?
Well, you're asking me to judge what the worst and what the best is. The reason why I believe in objective morality because it's not for me to judge, it's for God's judgment. He's the ultimate judger. So it's not for me to interpretate what is the good and what is the bad. God sets the standard of what is the good and what is the bad. And I can choose to follow that standard or I can choose to not follow that standard. If I follow that standard, then I'm going to be judged with grace. If I don't follow that standard, then I'm going to be judged with, it's going to be very cruel. It's not going to be in my favor as far as the outcomes.
Oh, how do you
sense?
follow it if you don't know what it is?
How do I follow
the objective morality if you don't know
morality
what it is?
If I don't know what it is? Have you ever read the Bible?
Like how do you if you can't judge?
Have you ever read the
good
Bible?
And wrong? How can you follow it or not follow it?
Well, one, I think that we all, since we were created in God's image, we have, which I think in other cultures, like Muslim cultures, they would say your fitra. I think I'm pronouncing it right, but it's called your fitra. Follow your fitra, and that basically means that you have a feeling of what is right. You have this natural feeling of what is right and what is wrong, which is given to you by God because that's the image that you were created in. Follow that feeling. That feeling is not always right, though. This is why we have things like the 10 Commandments. This is why God gives us law and things like that we follow in biblical scriptures. So yeah, but let me ask you a question. So you don't believe in objective morality?
I'm struggling. I'm honestly at the point where like I don't know if I believe in objectivity or subjectivity at all. That might just be a subjective opinion about life. Like I think it takes a little bit of pride to say, hey, I believe in objective morality, but I don't even know what the worst thing is or the best thing is. I don't know what, it's like me if I take a graph and I don't put a 0 on one end and 100 on the other, but I'm going to say this is 50 right here in the middle. That's meaningless to me. It's like there's no point to it. It's like, oh, well, it's bad for a woman not to submit, but I don't know what the best thing that woman should do is, and I don't know what the worst thing that
don't
woman...
map on. Your first example was a graph, and you take this side, you take that side, you put a line in the middle and put a 50 on it. Well, that's you observing. That's different than morality. That's different than judging something based off of right and wrong. That's you observing something and using logic, math to come up with what is in the middle, what would be 50% from the beginning of something to the end of something, what would be in the middle. So that doesn't align. But when you're speaking about other things, morality like good and evil, because that's what we're speaking about, right and wrong. Right would be good, the right thing to do. Wrong would be evil, the bad thing to do. So my question for you is, you said that you don't believe in any objective morality. So then you believe that morality derives subjectively from yourself then?
Yeah, I mean, I either say that what God says is best, or I either say that what God says is the worst, and then I get labeled one or the other. I get labeled, and ultimately it's up to me. It's up to me what I say is right and what I say is wrong. And sure, when I'm all dead, we can find out that it was objective or not, right? So it's basically all faith-based anyway, whether I have faith this direction or that way. And it has to be a subjective thing to an extent. It's like, so like there's no way for us to objectively judge the Bible.
Well, it all depends on what's your belief. So if
that's subjectivity then, right?
Well, here's what I'm saying. It depends on what you believe in as far as where you're going to derive your morality from and what you're going to be consistent and how you're going to be consistent with that. So let me ask you a question. Do you believe in God?
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you derive your ethics from? Christianity or what?
Just the testimony
just-
of Jesus.
Okay. So just the New Testament, not the Old Testament?
No, specifically the testimony of Jesus Christ.
Okay. And so just the testimony of Jesus Christ, that's where you derive your moral ethics from.
Yeah.
Okay. So in
And
order
the life of his life. Yeah.
Okay. So in order for you to stay consistent with in order for you to stay consistent on morality, then you're making morality is, so basically when we're speaking about objective is mind independent. Subjective is mind dependent, right? So if you are depending on, so when I say that morality is objective, I'm saying that if there were no human beings here, there will still be some things that are good and still be some things that are bad. Like how God created the earth. Yeah, let's just go to biblical scriptures then. So if you look in Genesis, after everything God created, God said that in the scriptures it says, and it was good. So when God created the heavens, it was good. It literally says it was good. Why is he saying, why does the scriptures say, and it was good? Because it's putting a moral standard on something, right? The heavens is good. The earth is good. Man was good. All of these things, good, right? That is making a clear distinction that it wasn't bad. It was good. Do you feel what I'm saying? So it's mine. Listen real quick. But what my example is to that is very clear when I say that objective is mind independent. It's not mind dependent. It's not dependent on my mind at all. We don't got to be here. God sets that standard. So that's what I mean, that when I believe in objective morality, it has nothing to do with how I feel and how I interpret things. It has everything with what God says.
Right, but isn't that but you just said it was like it all comes from your belief. And can you have any beliefs without your mind?
No, what I'm saying is, even if I didn't believe it, it would still be the case.
Okay. Right. Okay. So
under this would be under my worldview though. So under the worldview of Christian ethics, even if I wasn't here, this would be true. Under the worldview of an atheist, right? Then no, they derive their morality subjectively, meaning that it's mind dependent. It's dependent on their mind and how they interpretate things. So that's what that means. So meaning that they're basically God. They, describe what is good and what is bad. They are the arbiter of morality.
But isn't that what we're doing when we read scripture with our carnal minds and then decide that our interpretations are objectively true? Like you say, for example, that God said that everything was good, and then you assume that his idea of good is the same as your idea of good that you're thinking of when you say good. It could actually be completely different.
So in a way, you can say that, yes, we can say that in a way under the Christian worldview, in a way that would be yes, because we're reading things and we're choosing to believe this, and we can say yes to that, right? We can say, we'll grant it and say, well, we still need to use our minds to a degree to have the belief that something is good and something is bad based off of God's standard.
Right.
The argument still stands, though. If we just look at, then we have to go to the argument of, well, how was this world created, right? How was the world created? And then I can use a few arguments for you. But if we're looking at things like, did life start with the Big Bang, or did God create life, right? So you would believe that God created everything, right? You're under that belief, or do you believe that we came from evolution or the Big Bang?
I mean, again, I think honestly, I don't know. I think that's the truest statement that exists. Like, I think that's the most logical answer using our minds that we can come up with is we don't actually know at all. Like, my mind is limited to subjective interpretation and
Okay,
all
let me
aspects.
ask you a question. So if we don't know, maybe let's think about some things that we do know, right? So
Objectively or subjectively? Because like I don't know if we can know anything subjectively with a subjective mind.
no, let's think about some things that we do know.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you some questions. There's gonna be some things that you do know, and there's gonna be some things that, you know, maybe you don't know, right? So
Can I ask you a question real quick? Can I vape on stream nicotine, or is that against the rules?
you know what? We live on TikTok. Probably not.
Okay, word. That's why I asked.
Yeah, probably not. It's just live on TikTok. I see Tiger backstage. I'll bring you up shortly. Okay, so I'll ask you some questions real quick just to see where your mind is. But first question for you. So you say that you don't know how everything was created. You truly don't know. But then you also say that you believe in God. So therefore, right then and there, you're in a contradiction. If you believe in God then how don't you believe that God created this world and everything?
Well, because I don't know God exists, but I choose based on my subjective interpretations to
So then you
assess
don't
it.
believe in God?
I do believe in God. I don't know for sure, because if I knew for sure, I wouldn't need faith.
Well, that's not exactly true. Faith comes in place because you have faith when life is lifing and things just are going crazy, or maybe you're suffering, or maybe a family member passes away, or, you know, maybe you fail this. This is when faith comes into places where you put your life in God's hands sometime, that things are going to be okay, that God is going to still be with you during the times of suffering and during the times of maybe not so favorable outcomes, right? That's faith. That's utilizing faith. That's having faith in God, not giving up hope, not succumbing to the material world mentally, right? That's having faith. So that part, what you just said, I don't really understand how you believe in faith, but I would say that's how I believe in faith, and I think that that's how most people utilize faith. So, question for you again. I'll ask it again to you real quick.
Yeah, you got it.
If you believe in God, how can you not believe that God created everything? Then I would just have to get to the conclusion that you don't really believe in God, bro.
Well, I mean, that would be another subjective interpretation. That's what I'm saying. Like everything you come up with is subjective, and then you try to pass it off as some objective, undeniable thing because of how you interpret it. And that's
okay. I would say then you're more agnostic than anything, because if you come from like the I don't know perspective, you're more like agnostic. Oh, like I think I believe in God, but then again, I don't really know. So are you more agnostic than anything, or?
No, I think we're operating from two different definitions of faith. Because I would say faith is not knowing, because knowing would be certainty. And if I was certain that I was certain you were going to come over, I wouldn't need to have faith that you're going to come over. Or it's things like that. It's like there's a certain powerlessness required for faith, not I would say there's a guy named Alan Watts. He says it's more of a letting go instead of a holding on, and knowing that, hey, I don't know for sure, but here I am finding myself believing. I would say faith is believing in God, despite the fact that there's not much evidence of God here if you look around.
Okay, so faith is believing in God and things like that. Well, here's the thing. You say that there's not much evidence of God when you look around. Well, no, it's evidence of biblical scriptures of just this is how life happens. And, when you look at the world and maybe you see negative outcomes or human beings acting poorly and harsh to other human beings, this is because we are in a fallen state, and this is the outcomes of human beings, not the outcomes of God. It's the outcomes based off of God sets the standard of good and bad, and people do bad things. So you keep on doing bad, you're going to live in a sinful world, a fallen state. But All right, fair enough. So when you're saying that you believe in God, you have faith in God, that's what you're saying. Faith and belief, the same, basically. I'm going off of what you're saying. But then you say that you don't know if God created everything.
Well, I don't know if my interpretation of scripture is objective. So when I hear that and I think about that, it's going in my ears and in my eyes, and then it can be perverted. And I think there's actually scripture that supports that.
Do you believe that God created everything?
Yeah, I would say I believe it, but I don't know it. I don't know that he did that. And I won't be so prideful to say that I know that for sure, because creation, because it's the Pharisees really fell in a lot of holes.
You at least believe that God created everything. You don't believe that, it was, human beings was created from evolution.
Yeah.
You said faith. What you said, faith and belief, same thing. So you believe that God created everything. You don't believe that we came from monkeys and evolution, the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I have no faith in that at all.
You have no faith, no belief in any of that.
Yeah.
But you do have belief as far as, okay, so now we're getting somewhere. But then you do have belief as far as God created everything, but you just don't know, meaning that you have no evidence based off of that.
Well, no, I just don't. Yeah, pretty much. I don't have any evidence
to know something. Okay, so to know something, you need evidence.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that we can really know anything for sure, because we're using a subjective mind to interpret everything.
Okay, got it. So let me just make sure your argument is right, because I'm going to refute it shortly. I just wanted to gather information, but now I'm understanding you. Now I'm understanding. Okay, so in order to know something, you need some evidence.
Well, no, I don't even think. I think even the evidence you gathered would be subjective and non-applicable, because you'd be.
So then we don't know anything. So we don't know anything then.
That sounds pretty humble of you to say. That sounds pretty humble of you to say.
From your worldview, you're saying that we don't know anything.
Absolutely, we don't know anything for sure. We don't know if the sky is even blue. We've made that up.
Okay, so if we don't know anything, then why would you even trust your own judgment system and how you interpretate the world, to walk in a straight line, to utilize sentences, to operate from maybe even a moral perspective, to do good to people? Why don't you just act on based of your pleasures and your own desires? Right? So therefore, I don't think that you're being truly honest when you say that in order to know something. I don't think you're being honest when you say that we don't know anything. I think that you do know certain things.
I think I know things. Absolutely. I think I know things, and I think that's part of the problem. I think I know things that I don't, and then I talk and pervert the word of God. And I should be walking by faith, not by sight. And I think a lot of the logic stuff that we walk through is sight based, not faith based, and scripture based, and not Jesus based. Because Jesus isn't scripture. Jesus is something more than scripture.
Okay, got it. So let's just take it a step back real quick. So once again, you believe that God created everything. Also, you have faith that everything came from God, but you don't truly know it. And
I have doubts.
And you have doubts. You don't truly know it. What would make you not have doubts? Would it be evidence, proof? What would it be?
I don't know. No clue.
Okay, so you have no idea of how you can come to how you can make any epistemology claim based off knowing something. There's no epistemology. You don't know. No one knows anything. It's just all based off of, not knowing it. Evidence won't help. Proof won't help. Nothing would help.
Well, I mean, I'm not
saying
that. So
then everything is just belief and faith. Nothing is truly like knowing.
That would be the proper way of life. Yes. Everything is belief and faith, and not this prideful knowing that we claim is objective. And again, I said the Pharisees made the mistake. Well, they objectively knew a lot of stuff.
All right. Well, let me ask you a question. Can a man be a woman?
Man, you got me on that one, because honestly, I've watched a lot of videos and I want to say absolutely not. Stay out the bathroom. But at the same time, it's possible. All things are possible with God.
Okay, so how can a man be a woman?
It would have to be something above my pay grade, because my subjective mind cannot make an objective claim about whether a man can or cannot be a woman.
Okay, so you just don't know if a man can be a woman or not. You will make no objective claim on if a man can be a woman or not.
I have absolute faith that God don't make mistakes. I'll put it that way.
Okay, so if you have so now you're putting another word on faith and absolute faith.
Yeah,
so
I could be wrong.
Okay, so if faith is believing and believing is faith, wouldn't absolute faith be knowing? Like, what's this?
Well, no, absolute faith would be absolutely believing, but you could still absolutely be wrong.
Okay, all right. So absolutely believing, you can absolutely be believing this. So then before you were just believing, but not absolutely believing. I'm trying to understand your worldview,
I
man.
apologize for adding the word in and messing up the thing. But no, I do have faith that that God made men and women, and that it's the subjective interpretations of ourselves that screw up that whole idea, and that's why we're where we're at right now. It's all these subjective interpretations that we claim are objective.
Okay, is there anything that would move you from a belief and a faith to actually? Is there anything that you're like 100% objectively? I know this to be true.
It would have to be like some Thomas stuff. I'd have to see Jesus with holes in his hands telling me something.
Okay, so then you would need evidence.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, I guess I'd have to concede that point. Yeah, it's a possibility that true, undeniable evidence would have to, if it would appeared in a way, but it would have to be an evidence beyond me.
It would be evidence, though. So here's the thing. Yeah. That's what I wanted to get to. So if the only way you can ever truly know something is based off of evidence, this will be a lie, because I'll just use the transcendental argument with you. So there's many different transcendental claims as far as metaphysics, things like the self, things like logic, things like the 3 laws of logic, right? The traditional 3 laws of logic, the law of identity, the law of excluded middle, the law of non-contradiction. So basically meaning that there's no evidence for logic. There's no evidence. But every day you act in accordance with logic. You wouldn't be able to make sentences without utilizing logic, but there's no evidence for logic. There's no proof. If I ask you where logic is, you can't point to it. If I ask you how does logic taste, you can't taste it. There's no tangible proof for it. But you utilize logic all day. Every human being does, right? When I ask you about the self, how do you know you are you?
I don't.
How do you know you are you?
I could be Jesus Christ. I could be Jesus Christ. You could be too. You could be one part of him. I could be another part of him.
But you act like, so what I'm saying is, you can say you don't, but every day you act like you know you. You act like you know the self. You act like you know logic. You are utilizing logic. You are utilizing the self. You are utilizing all of these transcendental categories that is all in all metaphysical claims, like logic, like the self, like things like that. You never ask for any evidence for it, but you act as if it is 100% true. So if these things you don't need any evidence for, you need no evidence for the laws of logic, you need no evidence for the self, but you act as if it is true, then you do believe, then that's a contradiction. You do believe that you actually do know that certain things are true. Because you live you experience life every day, and you live and breathe life every day as if you know certain things are true.
Right. As if
you
is
know,
the key word.
Listen, you know
as
this. You know this. You know that if you're walking and if you see a train coming, you observe a train coming. You know that you can choose to stop or you can choose to run in front of the train. You actually know this. You know it. You know it. No one is like, you get what I'm saying? You know these things, right? When we're speaking about, this is because you know, you are aware of self. You're aware, well, self, or if this happens, or I'm going to harm self. Or if that happens, I could harm someone else. You feel what I'm saying? You know these things and you
Right, but how
act
do you
every
know
day.
that that's
Listen,
not
time out, listen.
deception?
No, what I'm saying is you go about your entire life with no evidence, but you act as if it is all true. You act like you know it. So therefore, you're making a claim and saying that, well, I would need evidence of God. Well, you don't need any evidence of, logic. You don't need any evidence of the self. You don't need any evidence of all of these metaphysical claims that you act in accordance with every day, like you know it.
But I don't know all of those things either. I don't know
You
that
do know
I
it.
have a self. How do I know I have a self?
If
I
you
believe
didn't,
I have a self.
no,
and
listen.
I act
If you
as
did,
if I have a self.
if you didn't know it, you would just go in front of the train. If you didn't,
Well, no,
you
that's not
wouldn't-
true.
Listen, you wouldn't even be able to speak sentences right now if you didn't use logic.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. The logic that I'm using could be nonsense, absolute nonsense, the whole logical makeup of everything. Like I can think that.
No.
Think
What's
about-
not nonsense is you're making coherent sentences right now. That's not nonsense. Like if you can put words together and make sentences, you're utilizing logic. If 1 + 1 in your mind equals 2, you're utilizing logic. Do you believe 1 + 1 is 2?
Can you know? No, I don't know that for sure. That's something that we made up.
No, I asked you, do you believe it?
Do I believe it? Yes, I believe it, but that doesn't mean I know it. I don't know. Again, it's the same thing with logic. It's the same thing with the self.
Okay.
I
So
either
now what
believe
you're
it or I
doing
don't.
is, got it. So now what you're doing is you're saying that there's certain things. Once again, you said that in order for me to know something, I need evidence. I asked you a clear question where you have evidence. I said, does 1 + 1 equals 2? You said, I believe it, but I don't know it. Well, if it equals 2, that's the evidence is it equals 2. What do you mean?
You say
That
it's
is
2?
evidence.
Who says it's 2?
No,
you
that's
subjectively say that's 2. It's the truth. You know it's true. You're laughing because it's true. You say that that's 2
Hold up.
because you guys
Time out.
subjectively agree. You
So,
guys subjectively agree that
okay, got
2,
it.
this is 2.
No. Let's just walk through the logic then. Because what I'm saying is I'm refuting everything you're saying, but I'm going to break it down for the audience so the audience is aware exactly what I'm doing. It's just a full internal critique. So, perfect example.
No, I appreciate it, man. I need somebody to internally critique me.
I drink my kids' juice boxes.
There you go.
So you got one juice box, right? That's one.
That's not a fact.
Okay, so this is not a fact that this is one.
No, we
Okay,
use
so what
that.
would this
That's
be?
what's that called? A convention or something like a convention. We say that's one because it's useful, but we don't know if that's actually one. Actually, that's nothing without you holding it.
Okay, got it. So therefore, this juice box that I'm holding, because when I say one, it's the language that is giving this thing right here. It's a numerical language that's giving this thing right here meaning of saying that it's one. The juice box is a name. It's Moats. Moats or Mott's. I guess that's what it's called, juice box. It's the berry flavor, right? So this would be one of these, right? This is
Objectively
one.
or subjectively one? Objectively, are you using your mind to determine that's one, or is that objectively one?
If I'm not here,
yeah,
and this just was here, would this be one or wouldn't be one? So look, if I wasn't here, but you're here,
because you're calling it one.
Okay, no. We know the language, the language that we're using is one. But if we just take away the language, and you can say anything, you don't have to say one. You can say bunka.
It's it.
No, you can say bunka. Listen to this. One is a word, but the word has a meaning in numerical form to mean one thing, one of something, meaning that it's not additional, it's singular. You get what I'm saying? So these are all words to describe, all of these words have meaning to describe something, right?
And
so
where does that meaning come from?
Don't be pedantic here, man.
I'm not. I'm being serious. I'm being dead serious. Where that meaning comes from your mind, right?
Good question. Good question. You said that, does the meaning come from our mind? That's a good question. But now, since you know what I'm speaking about and you're not being pedantic, you let's just say that you know that this would be one. Now, if we take away all human minds in the world, my question to you, would this still be one?
Absolutely not. Because it's only us calling it one. Who else is calling it one? Or
not the language, not the language, the meaning of it, the meaning behind what the word one means.
No, because what we're doing with our minds is we're separating the foreground of that box from the background of it, and then we're interpreting it as something separate in front of it. But in reality, it's completely possible that that's never one. One is just an idea we use for usefulness. Even the word we use is just for usefulness. But behind it all, it's actually not one. It's only one because we decided collectively and subjectively to say, hey, that's one and that's useful for us to call that one. But it's not, it's not objectively one. Juice box. We just call it that.
Got it. So now your argument is let me just repeat it back. Cooley, this isn't one. If you erase all minds from the planet, this juice box, it just wouldn't be one juice box. If you erase all minds from the planet, we basically give the word the meaning of one, meaning singular, one thing, one physical structure of one, right? We give it this meaning behind it. But without human beings, it wouldn't be nothing there to give it meaning. That's your point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It would exist still without us, but would it exist as one? Probably not.
Wait,
because
time
we're the
out.
ones
Go
saying
back.
it's one. One is a concept that we create with our minds.
Go back again. You said that
one is a concept
go back,
that we create with our minds.
Go back another step.
I don't remember
you said
what
that
I said before
it would exist.
Well, that was a fault. I was wrong on that. Existence again would be the same thing. That comes from our mind too, saying that it exists, right? Yeah. So it's all subjective, bro. You're right. You got me. No, I'm being consistent.
All right. So well, you weren't being consistent, but now you're being consistent.
Yeah.
Okay. I like this.
I'm getting back on track.
Okay. Get back on track. So therefore, if we weren't here, this then wouldn't even exist.
Well,
meaning that
now we're speculating.
No. Listen, you're using a word, and all words have meaning. So you're using exist, right? So therefore, if we take the meaning of the word, then this would still exist, even if we didn't have the meaning of the word exist, and even if we didn't have the meaning of the word one, this would still be here, and the meaning of existence, this would be here. You know why?
Go ahead.
Well, because there's a mind. There's things that we believe in that's objective that will be mind dependent, like a tree. We don't even got to let's not use a juice box because human beings created the juice box. So I'll put that down. But let's say something like a tree. So the tree would, if no human beings are around, the tree would still be on the world. The tree is a name that we gave this green thing, and even green is a name that we gave what we observe, how we observe something, but it would still be this green tree with leaves, with branches and things like that, right? Would the tree still be on Earth? And would it still just be one tree if human beings didn't exist?
Well, it wouldn't be. Well, again, that's what I'm saying. It's like human beings are the ones who started off saying, hey, man, let's separate this tree from the ground that it's connected to and the sky it's connected to and all that. So in a sense, like the idea of one is just literally just a concept in our brains. Like when has there ever been a coolie without everything else around it? You say there's one coolie, but we could all be extensions of coolie. You know what
No,
I'm
that's
saying?
a
Like that,
logical contradiction.
how so?
That would be a fallacious argument, and that you would be in contradiction. Basically, you'd be in contradiction of the law of you wouldn't be adhering to the law of identity. So the law of identity just means that I'm me, I'm Cooley, and you can't be Cooley. So there's only one of me. So what we identify is that's it. I'm Cooley. There can't be another one of me. It's just me. That's the law of identity.
But that's just like a woman saying I'm a man. Like I'm a man because I say so. I'm this because I say so.
No, that'd be something different. A woman can, once again, that would be in accordance with the law of identity. A woman can only be a woman. A woman cannot be a man. That would be going against the law of identity.
Right. And where did the law of identity come from? A concept in the human brain, or is it objective that the law of identity is absolutely true?
Yeah. So the law of identity is in a category of metaphysics. So this is not anything that like the laws of logic is not anything that we can like
objectively prove.
Like to prove it, we are going based off of our experience, our observing things and stuff like that. But we know that it's important that it is true, because without it, it would be illogical, right?
So
it would
it's
be
not
illogical.
objective,
Wouldn't
but
make
it
any
is
sense.
true. It's not objective, but it is true.
No, it is objective, but we got some people backstage, and chat is so funny. I want you to stay, because we got some people. We got Uncle Tiger backstage, and he got some questions for you. And then we got this other gentleman up as well. I think he may share some of your beliefs. So let's bring some more people up to have a more spirited conversation. Since chat was like, "Cooley, move on." Okay, so y'all kind of observed the conversation. Uncle Tiger, let's start with you. Any questions for myself or this guy?
Yeah, Steven, you said earlier that your standard for, like, your grounding standard for morality is the testimony of Jesus Christ. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is Jesus Christ's testimony objective?
I have faith that it is, but I don't know for sure.
Well, isn't faith, knowing for sure through faith?
Absolutely not. I would say faith
Not
is.
under
That's
his
what we were
definition.
getting at. My definition of faith would be not knowing, but still choosing to believe, even when the evidence is not there.
So Jesus Christ's testimony is not evidence enough. Is Jesus Christ God?
Again, I have faith in that, but I'm not certain of it. No. I choose to believe that based on my subjective experiences and my subjective interpretations of scripture, of life, of people, of the world. But I don't objectively know that Jesus Christ is God. And if I did, I would say that would be very prideful of me and assumptuous, and ultimately the exact opposite of what Jesus's testimony wanted me to do in the first place.
So Jesus didn't want you to believe that he is God, even though that's his testimony?
Well, I do believe that he's God, but I don't stand there and say that I'm certain of it and that I have no doubts, because I would say that God absolutely, I would say that I believe that God wants us to come as we actually are, honestly, not to fake it till we make it, because we can't know for sure that what the Bible says is true. And anyone who says that they know for sure that what the Bible says is true is fooling themselves, because they don't know for sure. They have to at some point take a leap of faith and say, hey, I believe this despite the fact that I doubt.
Well, isn't it the case that if you have doubt, then you don't believe?
Well, it's kind of like Peter walking on the water. It's kind of like a back and forth.
Peter didn't walk
1 second
on the
he's
water.
walking. Peter walks on the water, and then while he's walking with faith, following Jesus, and then he doubts, and then he falls back in the water in the middle of the storm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, pardon me. Yeah, you're correct about that. Okay. Well, I mean, it just seems like there's a fundamental contradiction here. Like you're saying, your grounding standard for your morality is Jesus Christ's testimony, but then you're also saying that you doubt it. Like, how do you reconcile this contradiction?
Yeah, it's in full worldview contradiction. That's why I was like weird, going back and forth with you, because you're not grounded on anything, so you can easily like flip and flop off.
If God created us,
I'm grounded in the reality that I don't know anything for sure. Like, and that's like the most objective thing that I know I know that for sure, and that's even subjective. I might know everything for all I know.
So then you don't believe in Jesus then.
I mean, if God
no, I do believe in Jesus. Believe is faith, not asserting that it's true despite the fact the presence of doubt is there.
Yeah, but the one thing, like, just you refute yourself is very it's a contradiction. You say, I don't know everything. Basically, you saying that you don't know if you know everything, but therefore that's a contradiction, because you do know that you don't know. Like, you do know that God didn't create everything. You says, well, I don't know if God created everything. Well, actually, you are, by saying that you don't know that God created everything, you are actually knowing that he didn't create everything. We could basically use the same argument back on you. Either you know that God created everything, or you don't know that God created everything.
Yeah. I didn't
say that last part one more time.
Okay, I'll repeat it back. Your argument is very simple. You say that, Cooley, this is when we first had the conversation. You say, Cooley, I asked you, well, did God create everything? You say, well, I believe that he created everything. I have faith. I say, but then you say, I don't know if he created everything.
Right.
You don't know if he created everything, which is insinuating that you do know that he didn't create everything.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah, that's not what it's insinuating that I don't know. That's
but
literally
you,
at
but
the
you
bottom,
know,
I don't know, but
listen,
I choose
but you
to believe.
know, no, listen, but you know that you don't know.
Well, no, I believe it's all based. My whole point is that the whole thing started with objectivity versus subjectivity.
So are you saying that you believe?
Know.
Okay, so you're saying that you believe that you don't know.
Yes, I believe that I do not know.
But
exactly.
But listen, if you believe that you do not know, then therefore you have some doubt that you do not know.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So it's all subjective. It's flip flop, right? That's
okay.
That's
So
the
listen,
reality of the situation.
if you have,
true. That's not right. That's
so
not right.
look, if you have some doubt, real quick, Dusty, because we're just going. It's an internal critique based off his worldview, so you really can't say that he's not. You can't really say that he's not incorrect, because he's going with what he's saying.
you can know that you don't know something, right? I don't know what is sitting on your desk to the right of you. I know that I don't know that.
No, but you do know. Listen, I'll repeat it back. You know, like he said, he knows. He does not know that God created everything, which basically is he knows that God did not create everything.
That's not true. That's not what I'm saying, Cooley. I'm saying I don't know either way. I don't know either way because I'm stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm dumb.
He's saying he doesn't know where everything came from. It's the same as saying I don't know what's on your desk. He doesn't know what's on God's desk, basically.
But you do know that you don't know. My thing is, you know that you don't know.
No, I believe that I don't know, and I have faith in that. I have strong faith that I do not know this, and because I have this strong faith, I also have faith that I can
but isn't that the purpose of Scripture, though?
It's just circular, bro.
What's the purpose of Scripture? What do you mean?
To give us the knowledge.
Well, no, because that's the thing. It's like no, because knowledge comes from God. Wisdom comes from God first and foremost.
And the Bible is the word of God,
that, right? What's that?
The Bible is the word of God, correct?
I
Or
don't
no?
believe. I do not believe that. No, I do not believe the Bible is the word of
Okay,
God.
then
I
how
believe
can you
Jesus
say that
Christ
you
is.
believe Jesus? How can you say you believe in the Bible, the God, blah, blah, blah? How do you say that without, I don't believe the Bible, but I believe, what Jesus said in the Bible, though, or
Well, now you're
actually
putting
I
words. I didn't
don't,
say that I
or...
don't believe in the Bible. I said I
You
don't believe the
said that
Bible
your
is the
grounding
God.
standard for your morality is the testimony of Jesus Christ. Where did you get
Right.
that if not from the Bible?
Right, and I didn't say that,
Right.
but you can still use the Bible and produce faith without calling it the Word of God or believing that it's some type of believing that it's equal with Jesus Christ Himself.
It's an idol.
Where did you
Absolutely, amen.
where else do you get the words of Jesus's testimony if not from the Bible?
Right.
Where
Well,
else do you get
first
it
of all,
from?
He can respect it as a historical or as a spiritual book without having to necessarily believe it is the word of God.
You know what? You know who would be perfect
Okay,
in this
well then that's
conversation?
contradictory.
Yeah, that is
Andrew
contradictory.
Wilson.
No,
How?
Jim Bob. Jim Bob. Where's Jim Bob where you need him?
It's not contradictory. We've got all sorts of books that
It is
have
contradictory. I believe the Bible, but I don't believe the Bible. That's contradictory.
I'm not saying I don't believe the Bible. I'm telling you, I
You
do
literally
believe
said that.
I said I don't believe it's the Word of God. The Word of God is the specific title for Jesus Christ Himself, not a collection of broken scriptures that all may or may not be God inspired.
So where do you derive the word of God from?
My heart, my subjective heart and mind.
Okay, well that's the
Okay, so then
subjective
you
thing here.
Yeah, then you don't believe in
Right, exactly.
God.
I've never claimed
you
any
don't believe in
objectivity.
God at all.
How do you see where you guys just come up with these things? Where does this go? Since when do I not believe in God? Because I don't believe that the Bible is equal to knowing. Just because you read the Bible doesn't mean you know Jesus.
No, but you said that you believe in Jesus Christ. That's what you said you believe in. But where are you getting these ideas of Jesus Christ if you have never read the Bible? Were you filled with the Spirit of the Holy Ghost?
I have read the Bible.
Okay, then that's where you're deriving your ideas from. That's where you're deriving your beliefs from. You get your beliefs from the Bible, bro.
Well, not necessarily, because even if you read the Bible, Paul didn't get the New Testament from the Old Testament. Where did he get the New Testament from?
Okay, so that's what I'm asking you. So then you're saying that you were filled with the Holy Ghost and God spoke with you directly.
I'm saying that God expresses it. I believe He expresses Himself through me, through you, through Uncle Tiger, through Powder Dusty.
Yeah, that seems to be a lot more subjective than like his literal words in the book, right? That we all reference. That you said that you ground your morality in, right?
The book doesn't suggest.
I believe in
objective
Jesus,
morality.
but I don't believe in the Bible, even though the Bible is the only place I could get the words of Jesus from. Though.
I don't know why you keep saying I don't believe in the Bible. The Bible's obviously a book. The Bible's obviously a book, and it's obviously words that you can take in and interpret and use in your daily life however you please. It doesn't mean
you know how the words of Jesus are written and read in the Bible. You know how that's that's where you got the words of Jesus from. But like you believe it, but you don't believe it though, is what you're saying.
No, I'm just not trapped by the Bible. I'm just not trapped by it.
You're not
I don't have to say, hey, I don't have to say this is everything in here is objectively true in order for me to have faith in Jesus.
Listen, man, you just so far since I spoke to you, you don't know if a man can be a woman. You don't know if 1 + 1 = 2. You don't know anything, but what you do know, you know that you don't know. That's the thing. You try to say that, oh, I believe that I don't know. Well, listen, if you believe it, you know that belief have doubts, but you're acting in accordance with no doubt. Think about this real quick. The things that you are debating right now, you're acting as if it's zero doubt. You say that I don't know if God created everything. So you are acting in accordance with, certain things that you say that you don't know. Because you're arguing for it right now with like.
Well, I would say I have faith in some things and I don't have
I'll be honest with you.
Things.
Is it Stephen or Stephen? Stephen, right?
It's Stephen.
Stephen, if you didn't know, if you truly was honest and genuine, and you're like, man, I just don't know, you would be more receptive. You would be more likely to listen to things, to soak in information, and to get another perspective. But you are very strict and firm on what you know. Not what you believe, because belief would have doubts. And currently right now, it ain't no doubts in what the things that you know. You know that God didn't create everything. You know that morality is subjective and not objective. You're coming from all of these standpoints of as if you know it. Because if you had doubt, you would be more receptive to outside information. Booyah.
Well, like
All
I
right,
said,
the powder dusty.
Yeah.
The powder dusty. Let me get your take on everything, and if you have any questions for myself or Stephen.
So first of all, the Bible, at no point references objective morality, and in fact, there's subjectivity baked into the language. Thou shalt not murder, instead of thou shalt not kill, for instance. That's a subjective difference. Any objections to that?
Yeah. So when you're speaking about murder, there's a clear meaning behind murder, and there's a clear meaning behind kill. You know that, right? Yeah.
Killing is to take a life, and murder is to take a life that an unjustified life. So one is subjective.
No. So it says unjustified. Well, justice, unjust, and just would be you can derive the objectivity from the Bible.
If it were objective morality, it would be thou shalt not kill. The subjectivity is the justification.
No. That's not subjectivity. That's not subject. That's not a subjectivity measure. That's a nuanced measure. That's giving more information within two. It's two different words. And the words have two different meanings. Kill has a meaning. Murder has a meaning. So if it says do not murder and is saying do not kill, this would be two different things, right? Two different things. It's not two different It's not two different object or subjectivity.
Both are killing. Murder is a type of killing.
It has two different meanings. So there's another. Where are you? I'm trying to get what you're saying, right?
Here.
Yeah, right now you just said, well, it's not objective, it's subjective. No, it's not. Objective means mind independent. Subjective means mind dependent. So if biblical scriptures, it's saying that do not murder, and you're saying, well, it says do not murder and do not kill. Well, that's murder is a just killing. Killing is an unjust killing. Therefore, it makes a clear distinction of what is good, what is bad, what is objective between it all. It's a clear objective statement.
So how does it prescribe that you know what is subjective or what is justified and what's not justified?
Based off of biblical scriptures of what is just and what is unjust. What would be just would be according to God's law, God's commandments, and what would be unjust is not obeying God's law and God's commandments.
So it doesn't really actually tell you how to differentiate.
Oh no, it does. Give me an example, and I'll help you differentiate it.
Well, I mean, I'm asking you the question. How do I know?
I just answered it. Give me an example.
Reading the Bible. Well, I'm asking you for an example. How would I know if this killing is justified or unjustified?
Why do I have to give you an example? It's your claim. You have to demonstrate it, and you can ask me a question.
It's your claim. You're the one thinking.
No, it's your claim. You said that it's subjective, and I just proved to you how it's not subjective, how it's objective, because the words have two different meanings, but you're saying that it's subjective. I need you to demonstrate how it would be subjective, and you can do it with an example.
Subjective? Okay. Killing somebody is justified if, let's say, they killed somebody else, for instance. That's a subjective condition.
Eye for an eye.
Right. We can also look at stealing.
Does the Bible say that? Does the Bible say that you should go time out? Mm-hmm. Does the Bible say that? Well, an eye for an eye is okay, or does the Bible say things like turn the other cheek, forgive your enemy?
That's a really good question. How do we know what justified is? Then that's why I asked you.
Well, what you just
conflicting messages.
What message did it ever say that eye for an eye?
It does.
Thou shalt not murder, right? Assumes that there is justified killing, does it not?
That has nothing to do with eye for an eye.
Thou shalt not murder.
A justified killing would be, well, if someone comes in your house and they're trying to kill you, this would be you defending yourself, and by defending yourself, you kill someone else. This would be a justified murder. You get what I'm saying? This wouldn't be.
I get what you're saying.
Got
That's
it.
not
Okay.
biblical. That's not biblical,
Right,
but I get
right.
what you're saying.
So
What happened to
defending
Terminator?
yourself from being killed is not biblical?
Can you reference the verse where it says that?
Yeah, I can bring up many verses in many different passages where it would say that you can defend yourself. Okay, then just Numbers. All of Numbers.
Yeah,
all of Numbers. What was the first number? Listen, what was the first? So Numbers, when Moses and them, they escaped Egypt and everything, and they was building their society. They was building their nation. God said, number all the women, number all the men, and he put people in certain positions. What was the first position that God put men in?
I don't know. What is it?
To protect their nation. So the military, these people go into the military, these men go into the military. That was the first thing. So the first thing was to protect, defend what you love, defend your nation, defend yourself. Do you get it? So that would be that. Meaning that if someone crosses the line and they try to kill you and put harm against you, then we have these soldiers here, our military, to defend us. Which, how would they defend us? To kill the people that want to harm our nation.
Correct, but that's also not the example that Jesus.
Bro, that's the example. What you talking about? We are.
Jesus. Did he fight back? Did he resist arrest and crucifixion? No, he put a soldier's ear back on.
No, stop it. Are we Jesus? He's God, bro. We're not supposed to say, you know what? If someone comes in my house, I'm not going to defend my house.
Hold on, sir. Are you supposed to strive to emulate Jesus or not?
No, if we were all supposed to be exactly like Jesus and give up our life, well, no, that's what it is. You said that. Should we be exactly like Jesus? Yes or no?
I don't think that you can be exactly like Jesus, but I think that I'm not a Christian, but I believe that all Christians believe they should follow Jesus' lifestyle, right?
So if you're not a Christian, but you're telling Christians how to be, you know nothing about what authority do you have, and what knowledge do you even have on this? Because right now you're seeming like you got no knowledge on biblical scriptures.
Oh, that's bullshit. I absolutely know about the Bible. I was raised in it. I went to Catholic school. I've read the whole fucking Bible.
You just said the Bible promotes eye for an eye. Give me a scripture where.
I read the Bible. Isn't that subjective?
I did not say that.
So if you didn't say that, then why did you ask for proof from me of a scripture to show where it doesn't ask for eye for, or you ask for a scripture where it would be just a just killing? You ask for a just killing. I'll bring up Numbers, all of Numbers.
Right. Okay, all of Numbers. Then steal. Let's move to stealing. That's another commandment. Thou shalt not steal. When the Israelites left Egypt, what did they do? What did they take with them? A whole bunch of gold and silver from the Egyptians. They stole. There's another spot in the Bible, I don't remember exactly where it is, where it speaks about how if you're starving,
did God command them to do that?
Oh, you think that they shouldn't have done that? You think that was against God's
time
wishes?
out. Listen, bro, there's polygyny in the Bible.
Yeah.
Do God want people to do polygyny? No, God don't want. No, that. What is you talking about, bro?
Hold on. Why do you think God doesn't want people to do polygyny?
Just because there's many stories in the Bible, it doesn't mean think about it. David killed one of his soldiers because he wanted his wife. Is it okay for us to kill just because we want to smash some chick? No, that's not okay. You're just saying things to say it, bro. It says, well, if there's a story in the Bible, then you should act in accordance with that story. That's your argument, bro. That's dumb.
Picking and choosing what stories do you want to follow?
No, that's not picking and choosing. There's stories to give us. When there's a story in biblical scriptures, is to us to extract out the lesson learned, not to basically try to act the story out. Extract out the lessons learned, not act the story out.
The Old Testament is a descriptor for a fallen world before Christ. right? So things were different then, right? So just because Jews, the Jewish people under the Old Testament did X bad thing, that doesn't mean that that's Christianity, right? That's why there's a difference. There's a clear distinction between the Old and the New Testament, right? The Old Testament is Christ concealed, and the New Testament is Christ revealed.
So
The whole idea is, bad thing X happened in the Old Testament doesn't mean that that's the realization of Christianity after the New Testament in modernity.
So there were
right. That's just a fundamental misunderstanding of the Bible.
So are there things that were allowed in the Old Testament that are no longer allowed?
What do you mean?
I mean,
like what?
You said that was a fallen world, and that things that applied back then no longer apply now. So I'm asking you, are there things from back then that were allowed?
So like sacrificing lambs and stuff like that, you would have to like if you commit a sin, like basically you make a sacrifice, you sacrifice a lamb, put the blood on your home, stuff like that. We no longer sacrifice things for our sin because Jesus was the ultimate sacrifice. So we no longer have to kill animals and stuff like that. So that's a huge change.
So then that would be an instance of God changing his mind, and that would be
no, he didn't change his mind.
That's not the changing of his mind. It's the fact that Jesus was the perfect lamb, and we no longer have to adhere to the Old Testament law, because the Old Testament law is impossible for a human to achieve.
So
right?
what is moral
Jesus
and
did
immoral
that for
changed?
us. Sorry?
So at that juncture, that's when morality changed from follow the law to seek salvation. That is a change in morality.
No, listen, the morality was always the same. So like say if you do a sin, right? So the difference is this, I'll explain it to you, Dusty. So let's say if I steal. You steal something in the Old Testament, well, like, you would have to sacrifice something. You have to give up something.
Chop your hand off.
You gotta give up something. That's how you pay God back. That's what it was. When Jesus came, the same sin was the same. Like when Jesus was here, if you steal, it's the same thing. When Jesus went, stealing was the same thing. Same thing. It's bad, but you no longer have to like kill an animal or something like that. Because he came for our sins.
Okay, so
the morality never changed. Just basically, after we do the bad thing, we no longer have to make any sacrifice because Jesus sacrificed himself for our sins.
So it's the acknowledgement that we can never be above committing sin. It's that we have to constantly be in repentance through Christ,
works
right? Because
and faith.
We can't achieve. Yeah, we can't actually fulfill the law as man. So that's why God came down as Jesus in man form to fulfill the law for us.
So
Right,
actually things are more
from
permissible now than they were.
To free us from the law. I mean, obviously we have to observe certain amounts of the law, but like the idea is that like instead of like every year we have to go to Jerusalem and sacrifice a lamb, Jesus is the lamb. He's the perfect lamb.
Yeah.
We can't achieve the law. We can't achieve the fulfillment of the law. Jesus did that for us.
Are you guys telling me if I saw you in the street and I walk up to you and I smack you as hard as I can across the face, what should y'all do? What are you guys think that you have a right? You're entitled to hit me back?
Yeah, if you smack me in the face, I'm smacking you back, bro. What do you mean?
Well, because Jesus said turn the other cheek, didn't he?
How is that relevant? That's not even relevant.
It is because we're talking about
completely irrelevant.
Oh well, I'm just asking you, like, because Jesus said that He said you have heard that it's an eye for an eye.
wasn't some
You've been
pacifist pussy.
Yeah,
dude.
no, listen. I'll smack you. Listen, I'll smack you back so you know not to smack me again.
But wouldn't that be
and I'll
disobeying
smack you
Jesus'
harder
command?
than I smacked you.
Jesus was flipping over tables and whipping the Pharisees, dude.
But he also cut off ears.
This is a
back
fundamental
on the
understanding.
people
Like
arrested
everybody,
him.
Christianity is not the religion of just be nice and
it's
take
not being
bullshit from people.
passive.
Right?
But
It's the
it's
religion.
not the religion of turning the other cheek.
It's not the religion of martyr.
In ways where you turn the other cheek would be for forgiving the other person, right?
Do you know
what
what
I'm saying?
he said right before that? Right before he said, turn the other cheek?
What, man?
Do either of you know what he said? He said, do not
What'd he say?
resist an evil person.
Yeah. You know what that means from your
do not resist an
interpretation?
evil person. That's what it means.
What does that mean?
It means
what
don't
does it
resist
mean?
evil people.
And what does it mean though?
Don't resist them. Do we have to we could go through the Webster dictionary? Do not resist an evil person.
You're saying something to try to prove a point. What point are you proving by this?
The point is that the whole idea of you being entitled to killing others justifiably is resistance to an evil person. Cooley said he's justified to kill people if they do something wrong to him.
I never said that.
If they break into your house, you didn't say that you could kill them?
Oh, that's different. Yeah. So yeah, if
that's
someone
not murder. Yeah,
that wouldn't be killing.
That would person, is it not?
No, that wouldn't be killing. That would be murder. And look, Stephen. Remember, I said, what do you mean by resisting? I wanted you to give me your idea of existing. I wanted you to interpretate that, and how you just interpreted was stupid. Oh, well, you resisting another person is you. Well, you resisting another person or evil would be you defending yourself. That's not resisting.
What does it mean then?
That's the stupidest thing that you said.
What does it mean then?
If you
what
keep
is resisting evil then?
If you keep I'm not here to teach the biblical scriptures, but if you keep on reading, I'm sure you'll get more context out of it. Because what you're saying, you're just totally wrong.
Say why? You know he's wrong.
Somebody in the chat said, "I'm not turning any cheeks." That's funny.
real quick, we got
go ahead.
welcome to No Fugazee podcast. State your name and ask a question to the panel or this conversation.
So I'm Jeanette, and I was just wanting to follow up on you guys talking about the law and how to explain the new covenant. So the law was a physical. It was something that if you physically committed any immoral sin, death could be the outcome. When Jesus came to fulfill that law, it was no longer physical. He said at Matthew 4, when he was describing to them, you heard that it was said that to commit adultery is the physical act. But he said, but I'm telling you today that if you keep looking at a woman as to have passion with her, then you've already committed adultery in your heart. So it's no longer just doing the activity of immoral breaking the immoral law, but it's now by thinking it and actually craving it, desiring it. So now you're lusting. That is committing adultery. So it's not the act anymore. So it's principle based on law. If you heard that to commit murder was wrong, well, if you hate your brother, it's a sin. So it's principle based on the law. If you're thinking it, we're all inhuman. We're going to think these things. But if you dwell on it, then it starts to go into your heart. All it takes is the opportunity, and it's going to happen.
Yo,
so you have to get it
Tyga,
out of mind.
Mod, real quick. I'm about to go to the bathroom. But real quick, chat. Get the likes up, and then we'll continue on with this conversation. Maybe we'll get another conversation going on too. But get the likes up. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Tyga, you could go ahead and mod this real quick, and if they want to still continue on with this conversation, Jeanette, Dusty, and Steven, we can. And when I come back, we'll switch into another convo. Okay?
Cool. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna step back. Fun exchange with you guys. But now I'm apparently moderator. You guys go ahead and internally critique. Jeanette, is it? Yeah, Jeanette. You guys go ahead.
I mean, I just don't. There's not really I don't have a lot to say about what she said. I just think that she's wrong. I don't believe that.
How is she wrong?
I don't believe that thinking the thing and doing the thing are the same thing. I think there's obviously more harm if you do a violent act than if you just think about it.
The Pharisees were trying to trip Jesus up with the same thing. So he was trying to explain to them that it's no longer just the act. If it's in your mind and you allow it to get into your heart, that the heart is the seat of motivation. Satan is going to pursue you. He's going to tempt you. He's going to give you the opportunity. He sees you. He watches you. He observes your weaknesses, your strengths. He's going to pick at you to make sure that you don't live a moral life. So if you are thinking about bad things and you're looking at corn, or you're hating your brother and you don't stop it and you don't pray about it and you don't get it out of your mind, well, it's going to do what happened to Eve. Eve looked at the fruit and she began to see it looked desirable to eat. Once she looked at it, and that's what Satan did to her. He made her look at it.
Right. You have
Adam was
to
telling
be
her,
aware of something before you can engage in the thing, right? It's a prerequisite.
we're human. We're imperfect, and to think that you're going to resist the flesh, you're putting yourself in a very tempting situation. And so, if you're looking at corn, what do you think is going to happen to you when the opportunity presents itself? You're going to do.
Yes.
You're gonna commit fornication or adultery.
Yeah. Yes, I don't necessarily see a big issue with that. I mean, if you're talking about cheating in a marriage, that's one thing. But if you're talking about sex outside of marriage, I think that I believe that whether you believe in evolution or creationism or something in between, there's probably a reason why our reproductive prime happens before our frontal lobes are developed, which is our self-regulation centers.
We have to learn self-control.
Certainly not having it could lead to problems.
Real quick, Tiger, where's the convo going? Let's start a new topic up because the chat is like, man, they bored of this.
Sounds like we're having church in here tonight.
The Christian stuff can get a little long-winded. I mean, I think we're talking about, like Jeanette is saying, we think about this in our brain, then we are therefore, in a sense, spiritually actually committing the sin. We lust after somebody's wife or whatever. We've committed adultery in our heart. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so people that have opposing views than us, I would say, is Steven and Dusty. Steven and Dusty, is there something that you want to debate about tonight, a topic where you're like, Cooley, I disagree with you on this, your Christian worldview or men leading relationships or whatever it may, feminism? Is there something, a topic that you want to get into that you disagree with me and the other panelists on?
Yeah, I can't. Sorry, that's an abrupt sort of mental gear change. I'm trying to think of. I've been up here before, and there were several things I disagreed with you on, and I can't remember what they were now.
Okay, well, let's refresh your memory. I think that feminism is a lie. I think that men lead, women follow. Any disagreements? I think that gender roles is good for society.
Yeah, no, I'm down with that. I do, however, think that the red pill males' rights activism, I think that is more closely aligned with feminism than it is opposed to it.
Ooh.
Okay, and what type of rights would that be?
The whole narrative where equal rights, equal lefts, that sort of, I guess I'm describing it poorly, but
I would need to know like something specific. Do you mean like, marriage laws? Like, the red pill activists, they want to change marriage laws because it's not fair. There's no benefit to the man, or the woman is incentivized. The man has no incentives for the man.
I mean, studies. Yeah, that's a good example.
Okay, that's a good example.
Yeah. Studies show that men actually benefit more than women from marriage and all well-being measurements, including income.
Yeah, no, I think that men and women and children benefit from marriage. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that that's anything that is the argument. I think that when it comes to like divorce, right? So the argument will be based off of divorce. Like there's, for divorce, there's things it tends to benefit the women besides the man, and the courts tend to favor the women with the children. The courts tend, since men generally earn more, then the courts are favoring the woman to get the alimony and the children and things like that. So that's the argument as far as like the activists in the manosphere spaces. They're trying to get things to be more not equal in a sense, but fair and just.
Yeah, I think that the law is written in a way that is agnostic to sex. I think that you can, of course, have a judge that's biased one way or the other. Typically, in my experience, judges are not gender biased; they're specific person biased. And I have been divorced, and I've been through 2 custody battles, so I've been through family court, and I know what I'm talking about. But
I think the laws was written. I don't think that that's true. I think the laws was written at a time where it was very gender, like people men and women adhered to their gender roles. Like women weren't really striving to be career oriented. They worked little jobs every now and then, but they were, serving their man and their children. And the man was the one that was out there doing the bulk of the working and stuff. So I think that the laws was built off of that, which means, but in modernity, it's not the same. Women are striving for higher education and to be a boss babe, to chase their career, but they really don't want to be a traditional wife, meaning that the laws are traditional for traditional men and women, but these women aren't traditional, they're modern.
The laws have changed since they were written. They were written that way, in a way that favored the mother in divorce, especially with children. They changed them in, I want to say, the 90s.
Like no fault divorce. Like before, if you wanted to divorce your husband, you had to give some type of proof, some type of reason for divorce. It had to be like a reason for the divorce. Now there's no fault divorce. You divorce the man for any reason you want.
Or he can divorce
that's
her.
That's something that changed.
Yeah, and that freed up both people in that situation.
Not really. By and large, men will stay in bad marriages in order to keep their family together, pass their legacy on to the children. I think the number is something like 75% of divorces are filed by women, and the most popular reason, something like 80% of them, is for irreconcilable differences. Now, what the woman will tell you is irreconcilable differences is easier to get a divorce over, but he cheated on me, or he was mean to me, or he was controlling. But she can't prove that.
Why
so
would
it's left to her subjectivity. But no, it's not no fault divorce. No fault divorce. Can I finish? No fault divorce is soundly to benefit women, and it was put in place in 1969 by Ronald Reagan when he was a Democrat out in California in order to get the female divorce, so they could just wake up one morning with their hormones wound up and say, I just don't feel fulfilled. I'm just not happy. He doesn't appreciate me. And she could leave, take the children, and at least half of his resources.
God
not
dang,
the man's
why?
thing.
Base.
Okay, why do you think that that's the case? Like, why do you think?
I just told you that.
Why does Ronald Reagan give a fuck if the women get to leave easier?
I just told you that. Let me try it again. Maybe I was talking too fast. Okay. The 19th Amendment. The 19th Amendment was passed in order to get women to vote. And women, because they're emotional beings, they're going to vote emotionally. So politicians can show them a hungry child, and women will vote and let the politicians just rifle through and loot the national treasury. So politicians passed the 19th Amendment. It wasn't majority women voting for it. It was corporations and it was politicians, and they passed the 19th Amendment. That allowed women to be able to vote against their husbands. And so they show up and they say, hey, women, if you'll vote for us and elect us, then we'll give you power over your husbands. And part of that is the no-fault divorce. Look, you're tired of getting stuck in that marriage with that man that just don't appreciate you. You can leave him. And we'll have the laws in family court to where it will favor you to take his children and at least half of his resources. It was in order for the politicians to get the votes of the women.
Okay, so they sold no-fault
Right.
divorce in order to get women's votes, is what you're saying. So you think that men are better off living with women that don't want to live with them?
Real quick, before you answer
Right.
that, whoever this person is, this XE guy, come on up. Come on up and join the stream because I see you in the chat and you like spamming the chat saying a bunch of nonsensical stuff about Dane as well. So it seems like you want to debate Dane. So come on up and I'll bring you on up and you can debate, man. But go ahead, ask the question again so Dane can answer.
So the reason that no fault that people choose irreconcilable differences is because since you don't have to prove fault, why would anybody set themselves up for a higher standard of proof when you can just do the easy answer and get it shuttled through?
That's not an argument. That's a question.
Okay, let me rephrase it.
Okay.
That's why people do that.
How do you know that? That's an assertion. That's still not an argument. You just make claims.
I can tell you from firsthand experience.
That's anecdotal experience.
Because it's anecdotal and it's logical as well. Because when you file for divorce, you're typically can I finish
you
now?
just got finished.
Can I finish now? Can I finish now?
Go ahead. Sure, go ahead.
Because lawyers cost a lot of money, and there is a good reason for anybody getting divorced not to want to have extra billable hours. They're not going to make it harder and more expensive for themselves.
How do you know that? You just pulled it out of your ass? You just made it up?
Do you?
Yeah, especially when they're motivated. Especially when they're motivated by the biased court system to like, I'm gonna do right. Like, especially when they're motivated to seek for more. Right? It's geared towards
biased.
the women.
No, it's not. You cannot. I challenge any of you to find me any law in the U.S. courts that favor men over women. It's absolutely neutral. It constitutionally has to be, and
you're making the assertion. You're making the assertion. It's up to you to defend your assertion. You're claiming they're neutral. Defend it.
From what?
You're making a claim.
Yes.
So it falls to you to support and defend your claim.
But you haven't attacked the claim. You've just told me to defend it.
That's an attack, man. I don't know what kind of language you use. If I'm asking you to defend something, then I'm attacking it. Okay, here's the attack. That's not true. Defend it.
All right, you want me to pull up some law? You want me to pull up divorce law? How do you want to do this?
I don't know. You pulled everything out of your ass. Maybe you can pull the defense out of your ass.
You're getting so stupid. You act like you have no idea what's going on. Have you ever been divorced?
It doesn't matter. I've never been raped, but I know about rape. I don't have to pull that out of my ass to know what that is.
You're about to know about it.
I've never been in slavery, but I know a lot about it.
So you don't actually know what you're talking. I've been divorced. You haven't.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you've been divorced. I've never been in prison, but I know a lot about what prison's about. What does that mean? That's one of those feminine claims, man. Oh, as a mother, as a wife, you know.
Yeah, that's an argument from authority. Doesn't work.
Okay. So, are you aware of the protected classes that you cannot discriminate against in this country?
Yes, I am. What does that have to do with the argument?
Is one of them sex and gender?
Sex, yes.
Yes. Okay. So, would it be illegal and unconstitutional for the courts to favor one sex over the other?
That's another question. I'm looking for an argument. You're asking me to answer your questions for an argument.
It's a rhetorical question. You know how those work, right?
Do I know what? I'm sorry you cut out, or I did one.
Do you understand how rhetorical questions work? It was a rhetorical question. Okay.
I do.
Then why are you claiming it's not a statement?
Because I'm holding out hope and prayer that you'll give an argument. It's not up to me to make your argument.
Dusty, you haven't made any argument. You're asking a question.
Okay. It is illegal for the courts to favor one sex over the other.
It's not. That's not what protected classes are about.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
What do you think they're about?
It's about discrimination based on that in public access. Equal protection under the law does not prevent laws from favoring women in family court. Because
Dusty, do you know about selective service? There's laws that like, what are you talking about, man? Like,
okay, let's go with your claim to authority on being divorced, in custody battle twice. Let's go with that. When you went to your divorce court and to your custody trial, did you have to show evidence in front of a jury? Did your Did you have to prove the facts, or was the cases settled on a preponderance of evidence instead of like a judicial finding of proof? Which was it?
It's contract court. It's contract court. It's not.
I know. You're not answering my question. I didn't ask you what kind of court it is.
Evidence.
It's not what?
Civil court. They don't preponder evidence. It's civil court. The court looks at the situation and then makes decisions on how to basically liquidate the marriage.
That's okay. How do they make those decisions, though? Is it on proof? Objective? You're the one who tried to lampoon the Bible earlier with objective and subjective. Is it objective proof that you had to go to court to prove to get custody of your children or to get your assets in divorce? Or did you just have to go in there and the court, which ended up usually being one judge, looks over the evidence and he comes up through a preponderance and says, well, I think the children would be better off with this parent? Or did that parent have to prove they were better off?
Nope. He looks at the information and the
evidence.
Requests.
Isn't that a word for evidence?
And the request.
Now you're playing those female word games where you're tripping it back and forth. No,
words
he just looks.
Matter, dog. I don't know what to tell you if you don't know what words mean.
He looks at the information. That's freaking evidence, man. Stop playing games. Did you have to prove? Please answer my question, Dusty. Did you have to prove that you were the better parent, or did the judge just look at it and make his best guess?
No, I did not have to prove it.
Okay.
So then why did you have to bring information?
Well, he didn't make his decision by pulling a name out of a hat.
How did he make it?
Information.
Preponderance of the information, right? Let's use your word.
And primarily, the most important thing is first to file. And he looked at the filings of each of us and what requests were on the plate.
But I thought like who's filing for? It was illegal to favor one sex over the other.
I agree with Dusty because this is why
nobody asked you yet, man. Hang on a minute. Grown folks talking. Ain't nobody asked you yet. Don't come in here trying to save Dusty. Don't come in trying to save Dusty.
Yeah, wait your turn. Wait your turn, man. We gotta get to you next, man. We got you next.
Hey, man, look. When you went in there, if it was based on equal protection under the law, well, then the decision for your custody would have been made based on the evidence, the proof. Not a judge looking and deciding essentially which parent he liked the best.
No, here's how it works. If I file a request from the courts and you don't respond, then I get that.
I didn't say nothing about you not responding. That's in any kind of a civil case. We're talking about how did they decide?
Right.
How did they decide?
That's why I pointed out that it was civil court and not criminal court.
It was not. I granted that to begin with, man. You're coming out. You're moving the goalpost. What I'm telling you, you claimed that the family court is not set up to favor the women because of equal protection under the law. And what I'm telling you is that does not apply in family court because those family court judges are not bound by proof like they are in a criminal court. Those judges have wide latitude. And do you know who they usually favor? The mother.
The mother.
This is a doctrine that goes way back to English common law.
No, it's not a doctrine that goes way back to it's a trend that goes back because mothers are typically the primary caregivers and fathers are typically the primary breadwinners. The fact of the matter is fathers typically don't push for sole custody.
But hold on, are you saying that they usually look at the mother as the better parent because she's the primary caregiver? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that most men, if they get divorced and let's say they got 2-3 kids, they're not in a position they don't go for sole custody. They go for split custody.
You just said
go for sole custody.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You just said that the courts usually look at the mother as the better parent because she's the primary caregiver and the father's the primary breadwinner and will have to deal with things like daycare and childcare. So they look at that mother as the better custodial parent.
What I said is the two parents request different things. The mother is more likely to request sole custody, and the father is more likely to request split custody.
I'm asking you what the judge typically decides and why.
The judge is going to award requests. So if I get
I don't think he awards Skittles and rainbows. I understand he rewards request.
But
Which
what I'm saying
request
is
do you think he's going to favor?
the man doesn't have a chance of getting custody if he doesn't request it. And
I'm
men
not
are not
asking you that.
requesting
I know how
custody.
it works. I've never been through a custody battle because I raised all 5 of my kids. I've never been divorced because I kept my wife around and I just made it freaking work for damn near 40 years. But that doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about, like you tried to imply a minute ago. I know all of this. If the man doesn't request something, of course. If I didn't request something, I wouldn't have my 5 kids. Hello, I understand that, man. When the rain falls, stuff gets wet. We don't need to debate this out. I'm asking you, when the requests are made and the judge looks at the evidence, who does he typically favor?
Well, I don't know. I don't think we have stats.
Bro, just admit it and say women.
Dude. You just say it's
just
the
admit
woman,
it.
dude.
Man, listen, I don't feel like going through this no more, bro. Stop being gay and just admit it when you know you need to admit it.
Admit it? That's
You,
the gayest
you
comment I've
basically
ever
already admitted that you just don't want to say
Dusty,
women.
Dusty. Okay, Dusty. In your personal experience, and you don't have to answer this because this is a personal question, but in your personal experience, did it work out in your custody battle? Did you win the custody?
I won the divorce and both custody battles. Yes, I filed first. I was the filer.
Well, then do you realize that you're the exception to the rule and not the rule itself?
I know, but the reason.
Okay,
the reason
then
I'm the
debate over.
The reason
So
that I'm the
if you
exception-
know that-
No. Let me respond to this.
Okay, go
The
ahead.
reason that I'm the exception is because most men don't file first. If they did, I would not be the exception. Now, why do men not file first? I don't know. There's any number of reasons, but probably one of them is because dumb fucks like you give them bad information.
Who's
and
the
they're
dumb
scared to
fuck? Am
file
I
in
the dumb
first
fuck?
place.
Who's the dumb fuck?
Which one of us fucks are dumb?
Yeah, which one of us fucks are dumb?
Who? I couldn't hear you over Tiger.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're one. Yeah, you.
Oh, I'm the dumb. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Dusty, let me ask you a question. Dusty,
person on the panel, Dusty.
I didn't miss out on being a fuck.
Dusty, let me ask you a question.
Fat fuck, whatever I am. I'm just glad I'm fucking.
Dusty, if it's the case that men filed just as much as women filed for custody, what do you think the outcomes would be?
I think actually it would favor the men because men tend to, when men file, they tend to file while they have control of more resources than the woman because men tend to have more control of that. So I think that actually you'd see men winning more than women.
Let me ask you this question. If the man filed for custody and it was during the years where the baby was in its primary developmental stages and let's say 1 to 2 years old, who do you think would be favored?
The parent that filed first. I do not.
You don't think that the mother would be favored?
No, my daughter was 2 when I filed, and I got custody of her.
That's fair enough. You can be you could be the exception, but what I'm saying here, from a biological perspective, right? You don't think that the courts would favor the mother because the child is at its adolescent years and the mother would be, preferably breastfeeding and things like of that sort. You don't think that the courts would view it that in favor the mother over the father?
I think that if the child is still breastfeeding, then that would be taken into account, right? That would probably favor the mother.
Well, let's put you in the seat of the judge. Why don't you put yourself in the seat of the judge?
Do you think that because I actually went through this. I wasn't speaking, but I went through it. And I'm actually one of the exceptions. I'm one of the exceptions, right? But a lot of things, the judge takes many things to an account. They take into consideration of, the age of the child, and during that age, which parent would have the best, which parent would produce the best outcomes for the child, right?
The best interest of the child.
Best interest for the child. So they look at many things like, where you live, do you have like family around? Is your mother living with you? Like, is the child going to have their grandmother or their aunties and their uncles around? So they take into consideration of other family members where you live. They take in consideration of where you live, where exactly you live, and how you live, the place that you're living in. So there's many things that go into it. But also, I tend to got lucky. My judge was base. He was a man. And not only he was a Republican, like, you know what I mean?
What what P. Dusty over here is saying is true in the sense that filing first does give you an advantage.
It does.
That is not the strongest thing. The strongest thing is the courts is going to look at what the judge believes is in the best interest of the child. Look, if a crackhead, meth head, pimp files first, he's got less of a chance of getting his children when the courts look at it and find out what's up. So your claim that whoever files first, that's the biggest decision. That is not the biggest decision. That's an advantage.
That's the biggest, I guess, bias. That's the wrong word, but the biggest advantage that you can give yourself is to file first.
But what I asked you is, how does the judge make the decision? It's not on who filed first.
Right. It's not on who files first.
Preponderance of the evidence to decipher what's in the best interest of the child. Right. Here's what happens. When that father's been going to work, being a good man, a good husband, a good father, supporting his family, taking care of his business, not being a bum, and that mother is going to the doctor's visits and the teachers' conferences and stuff. She gets in court, and then her lawyer is going to ask that dad, what's your child's pediatrician's name? I don't know. Because he's been at work the whole time. So then the court looks and says, oh, the child's better off with mommy. This is one reason I stayed married for 40 years, and I don't care how crazy my 4'11" woman is. Because I had 5 kids, and I didn't want to have to share them 5 kids with whatever boyfriend or stepdaddy happened to come running along, because I knew when I got there, I was at a disadvantage.
But she could have left you because you live in a no-fault divorce.
Oh, she couldn't have left me. She couldn't have left me, because if she had left me, I'd have packed my bags and left with her ass, because my kids was going with her.
I'm sure
she couldn't have left me.
I'm sure she can run faster than you.
Nope, she's 4'11". Right, I'm 6'3".
Let's get this guy's take. So, what's your name? A name, and what do you want to ask a question about?
No, I'm just here for the drama.
What's your name?
My name is David.
Your name is David? Oh, okay. How do we pronounce the Exy thing? Exa blah blah whatever.
Xibalba is like the underworld for me.
Wait, what is it?
Xibalba.
Yeah, man. All right.
Yeah, let's
David.
just say David. Yeah.
Yeah, David. So you were in the comments, David. You were in the comments, and you were talking crap on Dane, maybe even myself. I don't know, but a lot of people told me.
One comment, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to engage in this debate about? What do you want to say?
Well, you guys switched the debate from one thing to another, so
it's okay. What questions do you have?
They did it on me too, David. I came in for the Bible debate, and then they switched on me when I got here. So I don't know.
We switched it up. It's okay.
Informal. Yeah.
It's informal, man. What question?
Well, let's start probably a new conversation and move on, because it seems that we all agree on the last one.
It does.
Well, no, Dusty doesn't.
I don't think we don't all agree on. Yeah.
But anyways, what question do you have? What topic do you want to start up? What's on your mind?
Socialism. Sure, let's go that route.
Okay, so socialism. What you believe in? That socialism is a net positive for society, and we should be a socialist country.
Not at all. Does anyone does here? No, I don't think so, actually.
No, I think socialism.
You guys are pretty right wing. I mean, I'm right wing, so.
Yeah, man, socialism is pretty gay. But all right, man, let's refresh this panel. See if I think we got some other people backstage. So let's refresh. See if we get some other people in here. But Dane, complete obliteration. Good job, Dusty. I wish you had. You got any other topics, Dusty? Because I know you said that you do disagree with me on many things, but.
Yeah, I guess one last thing that I do want to ask is, has anybody besides the two of us on the panel been divorced? Any of you four been divorced? So you're saying 100% of the men on this panel has had good experiences in court, and y'all think that courts are biased against men?
What do you mean 100% of men on this panel have had good experiences in court? That right there would be what you call a non sequitur. The fact that these other 4 men haven't been divorced doesn't mean we've had good experiences in court.
You said you got lucky.
What do you mean I got lucky?
Not you, Cooley said he got lucky.
No, I was just going through a custody battle. So that's different. But I would say, yeah, man, I got lucky. And not only that, I had my life together and everything prepared. You know what I mean? So, my daughter wasn't 2 years old or 1, so that helped out. But yeah, man. But anyways, any other
Look,
topics you
can I
want to
ask you a
discuss?
question? Sorry, can I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead.
How did it go godly?
Scott, man, what you got a topic that you want? How did it go bodily? What country are you from?
Well, I'm from Cambodia, but how did it
Oh,
go
what?
bad?
Yeah, man, that's not a question for the panel to debate. It's debate night, man. So let's refresh. I'm gonna go ahead and refresh since you guys really don't got nothing. Dusty, you sure you don't have nothing?
I don't have anything off the top of my head. I'm willing to
Okay.
stick around in case the refresh does bring up something, but if not,
Yeah,
I
we'll
get it.
do-
You got people waiting.
No. I got no one that's waiting, but we could do a quick refresh.
Dusty, real quick, Dusty, if I can, real quick, cool. Dusty, saw you argue with Andrew a while back about the whole Sarah thing, man. I enjoyed arguing with you, man. It was a challenge.
You as well.
Fair. All right, let's do a quick refresh. All right, ladies and gents, we're gonna do a quick refresh. Been streaming for 3 hours. Pretty good debates. Dane came in here cooking as usual. Let's see here. He was already cooked though. Dusty was already cooked. He was already cooked, but fair enough. He held his ground as best as he could. All right, chat. Get the likes up for me real quick. I see a lot of people in here. Y'all ninja watchers. Pod, subscribe to the YouTube channel, click that bell icon so you are notified of when we go live next. All right, so man, I got some more clips to react to too, but let me see who else is backstage. Okay, so no more new people backstage as of now. So all right, well, let's get to some more clips and see if we can trigger some people. But what I'm gonna do is, so we're streaming on TikTok and Facebook right now. Everybody on TikTok and Facebook, come on over to YouTube. That's No Fugazi Podcast on YouTube. Come on over now. All right. So we got Mr. Guy. He came backstage, but your camera isn't on. So when you come backstage, make sure your camera is on, and I'll bring you up. Camera has to be on, then I'll bring you on up. All right. Give me 1 second here. We're going to react to some more clips. It's not done. Debate night isn't. Well, actually, I don't know. Hold up. Let me get through the super chats before we do this. Super chats, my bad. My bad, chat. I got y'all. We got a lot of them in here. We're backed up. All right, so where are we? All right. This is fun. So these super chats are pretty old, but we got Nick Merritt. He sends him $5. He says, this guy is so stupid that he put on his glasses to watch 2020. Okay, so this chat was when I had up the guy that had the glasses, and y'all was making fun of his glasses and his teeth. Hey, listen, man. I ain't make fun of homie. He ain't say nothing crazy to me, so, I'm not just going to attack him, but y'all was going in. Y'all was going in. Mr. Guy, I'll bring you up shortly right after these chats. We got Mr. Guy again. He says, this guy parents honestly failed him. All right, so that's the same. That chat was about that same gentleman. We got Robbie Frankie. Robbie Frank sends in $2. He is trolling. Now, I don't think that dude with the glasses was trolling. We got Melina G sends in $5. She says, can you ask him if he thinks 2 + 2 = 4? Okay, that was to when I had Steven up. Yeah, Steven, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. He may believe and he may have faith that, 1 + 1 = 2 and 2 + 2 = 4, but he doesn't actually know. Freaking Steven. All right, we got Zandal says in $2. David Tyrone Cooley III. Please let Steven go. Hey, listen, man. Steven, he was a good sport, meaning that he came in, he had decorum. He spoke when he was supposed to speak. He wasn't emotional, right? So even though his logic wasn't making any sense, it wasn't lodging, we still kept him up, right? He did ask certain questions that was engaging, that is thought-provoking. And I don't always have those, like the conversation that me and Steven had. I'm not an expert on those type of conversations. So I actually enjoy it because it helps me to critically think on my toes and come up with different ways to see the person's position and find out a strategy or a method to refute it. And I think I did. It took me a little bit to get there while I was doing my internal critique when Steven was up. But essentially, we came to the conclusion that Steven says that, well, he knows, or he believes and he has faith that God didn't create everything, but he also believes he believes and has faith that God did create everything. No, actually, his argument was so stupid, I almost don't have it. Okay, let me repeat it back. Here's what he says. He believes and he has faith that God created everything, but he doesn't know that God created everything. He doesn't know. Then I ask him, well, do you have faith and do you believe that you don't know? He says, well, yes. Okay, so then I say, well, then there's some doubt there, right? So then if there's doubt there, but you're speaking as if you actually know that God you actually know that you don't know if God created everything. So then it's like, well, you do know something, because his standpoint was, well, I don't know anything. That was his standpoint. Well, that was just false. You do know certain things. You do know the things that you don't know. So that was the argument. Essentially, that's what it boiled down to. Also, he believes in subjective morality. He claimed that, he believes in Christ and all of these things, but, that wasn't the case. And you guys can watch it back. Steven is still backstage too, I'm sure. Well, if you watch it back, Steven, and you want to come back in again, I'm open to having that debate again, and then you can, push forth your positions better. But it wasn't coherent, to be honest. It wasn't that coherent. But I'll definitely have you back to have the conversation again. We got, let's see. Melinda G sends him $5. Coolly, just let him go. We're all losing brain cells. Okay, that was about Steven again. We got Melinda G again. She says, yeah, Melinda G, we know that you hated Steven. Okay, fair enough. All right, chat. Really nobody backstage, just Steve. We got Sam back here. So no actually debates. What's this? The powdered dusty. You sent me a link. Not sure what it's to. Let's take a quick look. Okay, that was just a link to your channel. Fair enough. All right, chat. Well, listen, this podcast is no Fugazi. I guess the other clips that we have, we can save for, you know what? I'll probably do it. Since Thursday is Thanksgiving, I didn't do a stream. I'll do another open debate night Wednesday. How about that? Yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday, we'll do another open debate night. So that's what we'll do, because it's many clips that the mods sent me that I didn't get a chance to react to. So I'll react to more clips, and we'll do another open panel debate night, and we'll get down to it. But other than that, everybody that's tuning in, hit the like button before you go, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the bell icon so you're notified of when we go live next. Please click the bell icon because, man, I got a life outside of podcasting too. So sometimes I'll just be going live random. You know what I'm saying? So do that. Other than that, though, okay, this other guy came back. I don't know if this guy wants to debate. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. Were you in here before? This camera's dark. This camera was on. All right, I think he was already up. I thought we just had a random debater that tried to slide up in here real quick. But anyways, chat, this podcast with No Fugazi. I appreciate all of y'all that was tuning in. Next show will be this Wednesday. I'm not sure of the time since it's the day before Thanksgiving. Probably going to go a little late. I'll say 7:30 p.m., but just click the bell icon so you're notified of the exact time. Other than that, peace. I'm out.
No Fugazi. Fugazi.
And y'all see the suit too, man. Listen, new studio, new podcast by the spirit, not by the letter. Bro, we can go verse for verse all day long. Doing new things. Men are okay with understanding the reality that we are in competition with one another. But you ladies think that you're special. You are in comfort. Men are men of their word. So here's my word. I'll fly you out here and we can do it in person. And after that, we could box. I'm about my business. So remember I said, when I ask you these questions, I will dismantle your entire argument. That's the end of the debate, my dog.
I'm 39, but I don't look your typical 39.
Belly.
Yeah.
You look 39. It's okay though. That man isn't intimidated by a woman like you. He's annoyed by a woman like you. Because a man doesn't want to date another man. He wants to date a woman.